of Jesus coming back and so on and so forth.
Yeah, yeah. Like as far as these weapons, like if you read Revelation 17, verse 16, right, talking about Babylon, it says the other nations are going to burn her with fire. Well, the way that happens today is by these stockpiles of nuclear weapons and missiles that nations have with the modern technology. So that ties into it. If you read Second Peter 3:10, talks about how in the future there's going to
Well,
be a day when basically, if you read the depiction of it, it looks like a nuclear weapon. So this modern technology certainly does tie to what the Bible depicts what happened at the end of this
Well,
age.
but haven't people
in their closet for like 2,000 years though, like
Hold on, I'm sorry, sir. Your microphone cut out, so I didn't
Yeah,
hear
you
what
cut
you
out in the
said.
middle of that. So say that again, Neuro.
yeah, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I think he's driving around. He's on some shit right
Yeah,
now.
that's fine. That's
No,
fine.
it's my bad. Sorry. The it
It's all
tries to
good.
connect to Bluetooth even though I cut it off. Anyways,
Yeah, it's no worries.
yeah, so really quick, yeah. So I was saying like but haven't people been trying to interpret and like guesstimate the return of Jesus and the end of time for 2000 years at least? Like isn't it a little bit like presumptuous to say, well, the Bible means nukes and this and that? I mean, like I get it, but at the same time, like I mean, aren't you just starting a doomsday cult at that point? And you might as well get some Kool
Well,
Aid and
well, let me
mix some poison
well, let
into
me
it or something. I mean,
well, let me respond. That's a good question. Well, I would agree that people have always thought that they were in the end times. Like hell, I'll tell you what, I would certainly believe people living during the First or Second World War, maybe even the Vietnam War, thought that they were living during the end times and the return of Christ, hell, 70 AD. So yeah, I could agree with you on that. But here's the thing, here's the catch, is when you read the Bible, when it talks about these things, the time where the technology exists for these things to happen is in our modern day now. Like I'll give an example, like how I brought up Revelation 13:16 about him causing all to receive a mark in the hand in order to buy and sell things. That couldn't happen, say, 700 years ago. But the
yeah, but
tech
I
today,
mean,
but
but
let me
aren't you
just
kind
finish
of
real quick for the
no, no,
audience.
no, no. I don't think so because look, you're trying to like read into like a literal interpretation of like the book of Revelations. Like that's a very dangerous thing to do,
But
I would
but
say.
but real
Like
but real quick, sir. Have you ever read the entire book just so I am aware of your
yeah, it's the
Bible
only book
level?
I've read multiple times to understand,
Okay,
you know.
so okay, fair enough. Now, as far as your statement about we're trying to make it all literal, well, no, obviously there's stuff in there that is not literal, obviously, but then there are things in
Well,
there
then how do you
which
know
are
when to
literal.
say it's
Like I'll
literal and
like
when
I'll give
not to
you an
say it's literal?
example.
Like,
Wait, just real quickly, let me give you an example which is literal. Like in the first two chapters of the Revelation, he talks about congregations of believers who are at literal locations. So you would agree with me that's literal, right?
no, not necessarily. I think that it was speaking about spiritually, you know, spiritually, physically, metaphysically. I mean, there's many different ways you can interpret it, you know, separately or together or mix and match. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's really a tough thing to put a blanket interpretation across for sure. Yeah.
Okay,
Like
but
yes, they were
just so I
talking
don't
about
get
a physical
confused.
place, but he's talking about seven churches. They talk about seven horns. They talk about seven seals. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's a very particular type of way you'd have to interpret all that to fit. Like, well, they didn't have microchips back then. It's like I don't think anywhere in the Bible it talks about microchips under the skin or something, right? So
Well, how do you interpret Revelation 13:16 when it talks about them taking a mark in the hand to make purchases? What do you view that as?
I mean, I don't think that I have the ability to say exactly what it means. I think we can speculate. I don't think I would. I don't think it's the right thing to do to say like, well,
Well, Jack, let me just
you know,
confirm real quick, just so I understand. So would you consider yourself a Christian? You believe in Christ, or are
Yeah,
you agnostic?
he
Just
is
so I
one.
understand.
Yeah, he
yeah, I'm
is
a
one. Yeah.
Christian. Yep. Hmm.
Okay, very good, very good. So with that being established, I just want to clarify from your perspective. Would you agree that go on by Revelation chapter 1. I'll just read verse 1 just for the sake of the audience. It says, Revelation of Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants the things which must shortly come to pass. So would you agree that this revelation is about things in the future, not pertaining to when John wrote the book? It was about future events.
What exact verse are you reading? I'm going to look it up. Hold on.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 1.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 1. ESV. I like ESV. It's a little easier to understand in context, but let's see here.
Yeah,
Okay,
yours might say a little different from mine, but you can read it.
So you're talking about the prologue, right? The first part?
I read chapter 1, verse 1.
Okay, let me read it. Let me read it from the ESV. Okay. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave him to show his servants. It has a footnote at the bottom. Let me read the footnote. Revelation 1:1. For the contextual rendering of the Greek word doulos, see preface. Likewise for servant later in the verse. Okay. So let me go back and read it again. The revelation of Christ, which God gave him to show his servants the things that must soon take place. So yeah, I would guess it would imply that things are going to happen. Sure. He made it known by sending his angel to his servant John, who bore witness to the end of the world. To the word of God and the testimony of Jesus Christ, even to all that he saw. Blessed is the one who reads aloud the words of this prophecy, and blessed are those who hear and who keep what is written in it, for the time is near. So this seems like the main word you need to focus on is near and soon, right? So
well, that would be a preterist perspective. I don't know if you're familiar with that view, but the preterists take it as they believe that this all happened in the first century, right? Well, basically, they believe the Bible was concluded with the fall of Jerusalem in 70 A.D. That was the end of that time, the return of Christ, and the conclusion of the whole Bible. And they would hearken upon that, where it talks about near or soon. But the way I'd answer it, just to give you a direct answer, is I'd say this is not this is speaking from God's perspective when he's given this down. Like, say for instance,
yeah, I would
in
agree.
Second Peter.
I would
For
agree with
the
you.
audience, let me just give the example. 2 Peter 3:10, it talks about how one day with God is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are as one day. So from God's perspective, it's happening very soon. Like, in his perspective, it was like yesterday his son was sent upon the earth and was crucified. But for us down here in this physical world, it was 2,000 years ago. So that's how I'd address the near or soon to come. It's not talking about happening like, in the first century or 70 AD, just talking about God's perspective. Mike, cheers.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. So yeah, again, I just think it's so. What's your point in bringing this up?
Okay. Well, one point I want to show before I answer that is in Revelation chapter 4 and verse 1. In the latter part of the verse, it says, "Come up hither, and I will show these things which must be hereafter." That's one more reference for the listening audience about Revelation being in the future. But to answer his question, the reason I brought these things up is because you asked me, well, what do I think about all these people throughout the centuries who believe they were living in the end times and taught basically the same thing that I'm saying today. So I gave a response to that question you presented to me and said, well, a lot of the things that you read about in the Bible, we clearly can see happening in the world today, like Mark 13, Luke 21, Matthew 24. Christ laid out perfectly signs that would happen in the world. All those things are literally happening every single week around the world. Hell, it wasn't that way, 20 years ago. Sure, there was violence going on. There were
But
some
he also,
earthquakes.
well, wait. But he also said that no man knows when I'll come. I'll come like a thief in the night, et
Right,
cetera, et
I
cetera, et
agree.
cetera.
I
Right.
agree with
So
you. I agree with you. But notice I never came on here and said that I know what month or day or year it's going to be. That's not what I say. Like, say for instance, let me give you an
Well, you said
example.
it could be like
I
a few months from now or something. So,
But did you catch it though? I said could. So I'm not putting a prophecy. I'm not saying thus says the Lord. I'm saying, yeah, it could happen, say 4 years in the future. It could, based on the way things look. But I'm not going to sit there and put a date on these things. That would be a foolish thing to do.
well, yeah, but
So
like also like, do you agree that when Jesus came, he changed the past, the present, and the future as well in some way?
what do you mean by that? Can you clarify for me?
Meaning, no man could go to heaven before Jesus came, but then after he came, those people who were waiting to go to heaven maybe did go to heaven, right?
Yeah, I would disagree with you on that because from my understanding as far as what happens when we die, I don't believe you go to a heaven or a hell. So I would disagree with you on that. I believe that people in the future are going to be raptured and they're going to be allowed to live in heaven. But the Bible describes the kingdom of heaven being on this physical earth that we live on in the future. Like, I'll give an example. Read the Father's Prayer, right? It talks about the kingdom coming down to the earth. Read Revelation 21 and 22, talks about that great kingdom coming down to this physical earth. Just a couple reference points.
Well, yeah,
So
but what do
yeah,
you think that? But what does that mean for all the people that came before? Our bodies turn to dust, and our souls just fly out into space or something, or what?
no, the Bible tells us that when we die, the soul departs and goes back unto God who gave it. So when you pass away, your soul's just in a state of rest. And this can be found all throughout the Bible. Like, I can give the verses on it, but it's a lot
Yeah, but
more
so what does that
detailed than
mean
just a
when?
30
What does that
second
mean when?
response.
But what does that mean when the heaven comes down to earth? That we come back to earth, we just stay
I'm sorry,
there.
your mic's breaking up.
Heaven comes down to earth, right? Later on at the end of time, right?
Now, real quick, I didn't hear 90% of what you said because it broke up. Maybe could you repeat it just so I understand? All right, maybe he'll come back then.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
he
something
might
brought up
be
about-
driving through a weak
Yeah, it's
connection or
fine. No
something.
worries. No worries.
Yeah,
Yeah, really quick. Sorry. Okay, so you said that heaven comes down to earth
Right.
at the end of time. So what happens to all the people that are now like in purgatory or whatever you think it is?
Yeah, the Bible teaches that when we pass away, the soul goes back unto God who gave it. Matter of fact, let me see real quick. Bear with me for a second. Yeah, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, and verse 7. It says, "Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it." Right, so that's what happens when you pass away, right? A body goes back to the earth as it was, and the soul goes back unto God who gave it. That's what
Okay,
happens when we
but
pass
at the
away.
end of
And the
time,
soul itself,
but you said at wait. But
okay,
you said at the end of time, the
yeah.
people who are on the earth will just live here on heaven here on earth. So I'm saying, what about all the people that came before that point in time?
Well, yeah, that's why I said that I mentioned earlier that the dead in Christ are going to be raptured, are going to rise from the dead and be raptured up. So then they'll be living again, right? Like, even from your view, you'd agree with that, right? So that's why. So let's just say it this way: the people who passed away, they're at rest right now, right? They're resting. And then when Christ comes back, He's gonna redeem them, right? The soul's gonna enter in back into that body, and now they're gonna live again. But as of right now, today, they're sleeping, they're resting right now. That's my understanding. If you agree or disagree, you're welcome to elaborate.
What do how does that look for all the for instance, like the cremated like the pulverized bones and stuff like that? How does that look in your mind?
Yeah,
Like
very good question. So what will happen is they're going to be given a brand new body. So say for instance, right, like these skeletal remains in the graveyard, or the ones who are cremated,
yeah, like scattered
God's
remains.
just going to give them a brand new body. So He's going to take the soul and put it into a brand new body when they are risen up. And
And
you can
what
read about this in 1 Corinthians 15:50.
So to you, this body is the light body, right? Or
What do
is
you
it?
mean by light body?
Well, I think I can't remember where it is, but I think it's Paul that's describing what exactly
He means
resurrection looks
physical
like.
body.
Yeah, well, Paul in one of the verses, he's going on about what it entails to be resurrected, and he's going on about like this light spiritual body that's beyond matter.
Yeah,
Um,
no,
yeah, I mean, you'd have to give book, chapter, verse on that. I can quote 1 Corinthians 15:50. I'll read it for the audience so they know what we're alluding to here. It says, "Now this I say this, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God, neither does corruption inherit incorruption. But I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed."
yeah,
So,
okay.
in a nutshell, that's what it's saying, right? At the last trumpet, when Christ comes back, he's going to send his angels to gather together his believers, both those who are alive and those who passed away, and they're going to be redeemed and called up into the clouds in that rapture event. And then they're going to have eternal life from that point onward.
So yeah, I think most Christians understand what's said will happen, right? But I mean more specifically how you envision it. Is it something that's like beyond your comprehension at the moment? Is it some miracle that plays out that's beyond like physics and natural law?
Well, I mean, yeah, it would be a miracle to see the dead rising from the graves. Well, this did happen in the Bible once before, if you recall. When Christ was crucified,
Yeah,
he gave up the ghost, temple split. It also talks about dead rising from out of Jerusalem and coming back into the city. So something
yeah.
similar did happen at one point in time. But this is talking about the dead who believed being risen from the graves up into the clouds to meet Christ and the angels and their fellow believers who were alive when the event took place. So, I mean, as far as visualizing it, I mean, people can make animations of it on YouTube today. There's probably 50,000 examples, but as to what it's actually going to happen and look like, that we just have to wait to see. But
Okay.
people
No, that's
can make visuals.
fair. That's fair. So the new bodies, right? It doesn't go into like further distinction or further specifics. So, like I mentioned, the cremated dead. You know, you got the bones ground into powder, essentially into
Right.
fine pieces, and they're scattered in rivers, blown in air off of mountains. These people are given a new body, but it's everyone that gets a new body, right?
Yeah, like say for instance, right, when those who are alive are called up, their bodies are going to be changed into incorruptible bodies. Now, as to how that's going to happen, what that's going to look like, I'd say the Bible doesn't directly explain, go into detail on that, but it
Mhm.
says, like, look at this, verse 53 in 1 Corinthians 15. It says, "For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality." Right?
Yeah.
So it's talking about the bodies being changed as we're risen up. So as to what that's going to look like, it doesn't necessarily display, but I will mention though, if we look back up at verse 52, at the top it says, "In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet will sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall all be changed."
Mm,
So, however it happens, it says it happens like within the twinkling of an eye. So very quick.
yeah.
Would you agree with the text, or what do you view it?
No, yeah, no, I'm into it. I think it's far out, and I'm into far out things. I just was interested in how you would envision something like that happening.
Just so I know, are you a Christian, or what's your view?
I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a Christian. No.
Well, again, I'm just asking because I've never talked to you
Yeah,
before, so
take
I don't
like
know.
maybe you got like 5 minutes to hear him explain. What do you
Yeah, no, we don't need to go there. I was a Christian. I was a devout Christian and sought earnestly to, find out what Jesus Christ was on a deep personal level. And I would say that by attempting that, taking it seriously that I came out on the other side not a Christian. I would say there are principles there within Christianity that I share, but ultimately it as a doctrine, no. And I would say that even Jesus Christ wasn't a Christian, right? Like we can agree on that. Like Christianity, like obviously I'm talking about semantically, right? Like when you say Christian, you
let's say it
mean
this way, right? Do
like
you
a
know what the word
doctrine.
Christian means?
I mean, yeah, it means a bunch of different things to a bunch of different people.
Well, the main view of what the word means is it means a Christ follower, right, or Christ-like.
Well, yeah,
So, so, th-
there's no
let's
main.
put it this way. Let's understand it this way. So, like, if someone says they're a Christian, like if I say I'm a Christian, what I mean by that is that I follow after Christ. I live like Christ, right? If you look at how I live, you're basically seeing how Christ would walk, because I'm supposed to live after him. So Christ would be like the model that the word Christian would be based upon. It's after his likeness. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely not a generalization. You can't just say that about all Christians or whatever. That's what makes it so divisive. That's why there's so many denominations.
Well, let's say this: there's thousands of different denominations and views, but all of them would still be considered Christian, right? Even though they might put different spins
Well, they
on
call
what they
themselves
believe,
that.
it'd all
Yeah,
be Christian,
they use the word Christian, right? Yeah, but
right?
they have different definitions. Not all seek to be like Jesus. Some say that that's an impossibility.
Well, as I said, that's why there are some false Christians out there, obviously, but they
Yeah,
still
and
would
they'd
call
say you're
themselves
false
Christian.
too. So it's that thing, that divisiveness that I'm talking about. It's not as simple as you're
Real quick,
making
just
it.
so I understand. Did you say that I would consider you false as well? You're
Yeah.
allowed to say that. That's
Well, if I
perfectly fine.
claim to be a
But could I
Christian,
ask you though, how would you define that? Like
if I
in a
claim to be a Christian and my
okay.
doctrine was different than yours, you would say that I'm false.
Sure, we can say that.
Like if I
But
said, "Hey,
just
I'm
to,
not seeking to be like Christ. Hey, Christ isn't going to rapture people up from the dead. Hey, I have this. I'm a docetist or whatever, right? Or I
right.
believe in works, not faith alone." There's some reason or another that you'll define my Christianity as the false one.
Fair enough. I understand your
Yeah,
premise. But just so I understand though, could you
that's
give one or
why
two examples of something I said that you're in disagreement with for you to make the statement,
you
just
haven't
out of
said anything
curiosity?
yet that I disagree with, besides the like I don't know, some interpretations of Revelations as like eschatological.
Well, so the reason I'm asking though is because you said that you would consider me to be a false Christian. So I was just
No,
curious
I didn't say
of
that.
what.
I didn't say that.
Okay,
I said that
That's what I thought you said. So I wanted you to
no,
clarify.
no. What I said
Why did
was I was trying to make a point because you said this is you, quote, I would consider them false Christians. And my response was, and they would consider you a false Christian.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
my bad. I thought you said you would. So
No,
perhaps I
no,
No,
no.
no.
misheard you.
I'm not here to say you're not a
But yeah,
Christian.
I'll directly answer what you're saying. Yes, I would certainly say there's many false Christians out there. Like I'll give you an example. Like there's a group out there that calls themselves free gracers. They claim to be Christian, but if you look at what they believe and teach, they think, oh look, all you got to do is just say Jesus, and it doesn't matter your works. But when I
Yeah,
read the
I'm
Bible,
familiar with it.
yeah, when I read the Bible, Christ clearly said he's coming back and going to judge every man according to his works. Revelation 22:12. Just for one example. So yeah, those people, even though they call themselves Christian, they're obviously not real Christians, right? They're
Yeah, I would
living
agree.
after a false gospel.
Yeah, that's definitely seems correct. Yeah, because it'd be like because there's those uh kind of people. Like I heard a quote by Martin Luther that said, even if you murder and commit fornication 1,000 times a day, you can be saved because God does not create salvation for fictitious sinners.
Wow,
It's a little bit of
that's some
Sabbatean
strange belief.
Frankism in there.
Yeah, it's pretty extreme.
What I find weird, like I know guys out there, like there's this dude, y'all can look up his channel name is The Preacher, and what he will say, like I recently debated this dude, Anybody can find that upload on my channel a couple days ago if you want to check it out. But what happened was, his premise is, look, those people like ETT teaching to keep the law, they're leading you to sin. They're leading you away from Christ by telling you to live by the law. But me over here, right, preacher, I'm telling you true freedom. Just believe Jesus paid for everything and you can't commit any sin anymore. As long as you believe, one day. It's like, it's absolutely ridiculous what these people believe.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think I heard Dr. E. Michael Jones say that if a guy went and committed like a sex act with a minor or a little kid, that they can go confess to a priest and the priest can't turn them into the police. That would be a breaking of their religious vows. It's like, what the fuck, dude? If somebody came and confessed to me I was a priest and they committed such an act, I would think it'd be a sure ringer that you try to get somebody involved with that situation or your community, or try to prosecute that person.
Aiding and abetting.
Like, yeah, it seems like they're allowing it to happen or something just because somebody confessed so that their sins went away. That seems crazy.
Yeah, and here's the other thing with it, right? Is people just think that that they can just go around and willfully sin, but then just confess that they're sorry and might not do it again. But then here it goes, 2 weeks later they go and do the same thing. Like, say for instance, somebody might be a thief and then be compelled that they were wrong, but then 2 weeks later they go and steal another car, for instance. Like, hell, this commonly happens every day in Brazil, right? Like, I watched an interview recently. The guy was saying, yeah, man, I don't want to have to, live this life of thievery. I'm truly sorry for it. But then 2 weeks later, the dude's, stealing like 5 more vehicles. You know what I'm saying? So some people might say one thing, but then they live the opposite way. And this is why when Christ comes back, a lot of people are going to get a rude awakening. Like, if you read, just for the audience, you read Matthew 25, verse 31 on down, Christ separates 2 groups of believers, and he judges them off of their actions and their works. And one group who believed, but they didn't live righteously, didn't do any good works, they got rejected and got sent into the fire, or as Christians, what most people call hell. So yeah, it shows that you can't just say you believe and magically saved no matter what you do. That's obviously a fable that people believe today for some strange reason.
Yeah, but Christians sin every day. There's like, where's the delineation there?
Well, let's say this. Living a lifestyle of sin versus making a mistake are 2 separate things. Would you agree with me on that?
Yeah, but that's not the point.
So what's the point?
The point is when you really see Christ and his standard of perfection, you see yourself, you're going to notice how you sin every day.
Well, let me just clarify, so I don't misunderstand. Like, are you giving just like a general example, or are you trying to use me as an example just so
Just
I
just a
understand?
general example.
Okay, so let me try to repeat it back to make sure I understand. So you're asking about these people who say they're Christian and claim they follow Christ, but then if you look at their life, they're living in sin every other day. Am
He's
I
talking
understanding
about
correctly?
where's the actual remedy, right? There's no actual stopping the sin. What does it mean to steal one day and 2 weeks later, if you're truly trying to fix yourself, if you truly in your heart believe that you're fixing yourself, but some opportunity presents itself and you can't resist and you steal 2 weeks later, right? Like you're going to keep pursuing to fix yourself through Christ as a Christian or whatever.
Right,
Where's the
absolutely.
real delineator? Where's the real line that's drawn between what you're describing, meaning people who are not following the way of Christ, who are not fixing themselves, versus that, like
I kind of just say it's like the doctrine and the people, right? Because people are gonna be flawed. They're gonna apply, even if you give them a perfect method to do something, they're gonna apply it imperfectly. So, it's like maybe the doctrine, and that might be true just with anything. right? It's like Marxists aren't true Marxists, because they don't really listen to Marx, so on and so forth.
Yeah, well, to answer his question, which is again is a good question, but the way you determine like the difference between someone who's actively, willfully living in their sin versus someone who actually actively is trying to do the right thing is, well, look at how they act when they commit a sin. Are they truly sorry for it? Do they repent? The word repent means to change one's mind, to turn from it. Like, say, for instance, an example of Christ telling someone to repent. This is John 5:14. It says, and straightway Christ findeth him in the temple and said unto him, behold, thou art made whole. Sin no more, lest a worse thing come upon you. Just like that woman in John 8, the woman in adultery, Christ told her, go and sin no more. So he told her to go and stop living that lifestyle. Guess what? If 3 weeks later she goes and commits adultery, then, well, she's living in willful sin. She's not
That's
trying her
no,
best.
you can't. You have to be able. You have to agree with me when I say you can never know that. You can never know internally what somebody is processing in the path that they're following. You don't know if that decision that presents itself 3 weeks later for that woman is something that's absolutely irresistible and that it can't be remedied after, right? What's the difference between that sin and the one 3 weeks earlier that got fixed?
What's the difference? Well, because
Yeah,
back then
she
she
was
did.
forgiven 3 weeks ago, right? And now just because 3 weeks later
Okay,
she
well,
did
well, let me
something
let me
different.
let me answer. Here's the misconception: is these people that Christ is going to here and telling them to repent. This is the first time they're hearing this message. These are not people who were Christians for 5 years and now he's just telling them this all of a sudden 5 years later. No, these are people who are hearing this message for the first time. So, say for instance, like if someone comes to me and says, "Well, I've committed adultery," or might even say, in my past, 20 years ago, maybe I was a thief, and I turned from that. Say, okay, in the past you did those things, but now that you came to Christ, now these things are wrong. Now you have to live a Christian lifestyle. So these people that claim Christ, now they understand what's right and wrong by reading the word,
Do you
right?
believe in
So,
repentance?
yeah, I believe in repentance.
That doesn't end the day you find Christ's message, right? Like in
I,
the
I never
Christian
said,
doctrine.
but excuse me, sir. I never said that it ends the day that you find Christ's message.
Well,
That's not what I said.
you're saying that the sinner, right? He once he hears the message, right? It's not some guy who's known about Christ for 20 years. It's 20 years not knowing the message, and then finally he gets the message, and then he messes up again weeks later, right? Is that incurable? Is that unforgivable?
It is forgivable. It can be
Yeah,
forgivable.
so
Yes.
that kind of defeats where you're going with all this.
No,
It's
sir, it
all
doesn't. Because
forgivable.
I want to clarify one more time. You clearly, hey, as Cesariak says, listening is an art, and you're not doing very good at it. I
I'm
clearly
doing great
said,
at it, and I think
just take a chill
you
pill
have
for a
this
second.
mighty holier than thou attitude about it that I don't think you're realizing. You don't see that.
Well, we can discuss that in a second, but let's clarify this real quick. Is it true that I've been saying for like the last 15 minutes that there's a difference between a person living a active lifestyle in sin versus a believer who might make a mistake once in a while?
Yeah, no,
That's
we
where we're
agreed on that, and
disagreeing. If these people,
my
okay,
claim was you can never know that, and you're like, "No, I can," right? We can
but
see
here's the thing. I can know that. You want to
No,
know
you
why?
can never know that.
Ca-
It's a personal internal
can
thing.
can I explain real quick how I can know that, and then you can explain why you view differently. Thank
Sure.
you very much. Now, the ways I'm saying that, right? How I can tell if someone's being sincere or not sincere with saying they're repenting, and then you see them, hooking up with some other man's wife. Well, guess what? If that person is actually sincere about following the Lord, they would be living in accordance with the law. You wouldn't see these people constantly living uh, in diversity to what God says. Like, I'll give you an example. Like,
Did you say the
not too
law?
long ago, I met this Christian guy and we got into a conversation. It was funny because he just came from church a couple hours earlier, right? So we were talking. He asked me, well, why do you have a long beard? I was like, oh, I have a longer beard because I keep the law. He's like, well, I believe in Jesus, but I shave my hair. And then we talk about how he's going to get a Jesus tattoo on his arm next month. He's saving up to get that Jesus tattoo. And I tell him, hey, look, man, you know, that's against the scriptures. The Bible says you're not supposed to get any markings or printings upon your flesh. So once I tell him that, it's up to him if he wants to willingly sin and go get that Jesus tattoo, or if he wants to adhere to what the Bible says and not get any printings or markings in his flesh in accordance with God's law. Now, if he decides to go and get that tattoo, that's a willful sin. That's not a sin out of accident. That would be a
That's
willful sin because he knows that
They're
it's
all
against the
willful
law.
sins. If you,
yeah, that's
they're
really
all willful
interesting.
sins.
But just real quick, I think Reddington, I think we unveiled another part of end times teachers theology. He appears to be a sort of a biblical literalist
Yeah.
who is actually interpreting the law. And would you say that you equate the law with also the works that you were talking about earlier?
I'd say that the law certainly does play a part with that, but there are certain
Right.
works that wouldn't be part of the law. Like, say, for instance, like,
Paul would disagree.
well, just hear me out for a second. Like, say, for an example, if I help a homeless guy on the street, I buy him some new clothes and some food. Hey, that's just a good work in general. If I help a old lady cross a busy highway, that's just a good general work right there. But yes, there are certainly examples where the law does correlate with works. Like, say,
So
for
all
instance,
laws are works, but not all works are laws.
I think that you're not really understanding what's being
I'm
talked about
asking you
here.
that question.
Yeah, what I'll say is this, right? When you follow God's law, that's a work of righteousness. Right? When you follow the law of God, you're doing
So
righteous
all
work.
laws are
I've
works.
got to
No,
ask.
Paul would
So
definitely disagree.
I've got to
Well,
ask.
we can
So
get
by
into it.
the law, you mean the law of Moses, right?
Yes, sir. That law that you read
Oh, that's a
about in
good
Exodus, the
question. Yeah,
20th chapter.
glad we clarified
It's
that.
from the Bible. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, the law of Moses says that we're all born sinners, and how do we rectify the fact that we're all born sinners because of what the first human beings did?
Wait, the
Well,
law of Moses says this? I don't remember it.
This is well, I mean, this is a central theme of the whole Bible. I mean, I don't know if particularly the law of Moses says this, but we're all born sinners.
Paul
Yeah,
says it.
not really. Yeah, it's kind of like more like a later, like I would say it's more like hardcore, like Protestantism than like something that was on the outset of Christianity. You know, where they say like, all right, well, we're just salvation by faith alone, and there's no works or laws. You know, and that man is born sinful, so you can't really save him through works, and that's kind of like how it goes. You know what I'm saying, Dom?
Well, my understanding was the basic Christian premise was that Adam and Eve ate the apple and caused the first sin, and we're just waiting until Jesus comes along so that we can be forgiven because God will rectify that original sin by giving a perfect life, cleansing all the sin that had come before it through blood of the perfect man. And that blood would basically plant a seed, which I think even ETT was talking about in Corinthians with our body being a seed. But Jesus's blood would essentially plant a seed of salvation for those who would follow him. But the thing is that the law of Moses is written down. Jesus Christ is the living law. And that's what we can become if we truly become followers of Jesus. We will literally be the law incarnate because we know it internally with our hearts, just like Jesus did.
Scales, do you know how many laws that God gave to Moses off the top of the head?
No, but I would say the 10 Commandments
Okay.
would be important, right?
I mean, I wouldn't argue that they are important, but there's a lot more laws in the Bible than just 10 Commandments. Like, I'll give you an example. The law about not laying with the same gender, that's not found in the 10 Commandments. But you'd still agree that that would be sinful based on the other writings that Moses had, right?
Right.
like Leviticus 20:13, for
Yeah, this is
example.
Levitan. He's talking about the 613 laws.
Correct.
These laws, though, not to deviate. Let's get back on track, right? Because you were kind of trying to
Yeah,
beat
sorry
around the
about that.
bush when TML and Reddington was saying the law and work equivalency. You are
Yeah, I'm.
agreeing that all
But
laws
wait,
are
wait.
works because
Just so
your
I don't
example.
get
Give me a
confused.
second. Give me a second, because your
Okay. Yep.
example was saying that not all works are laws. We know that. We get it. Helping the lady across the highway, we get that. But you do agree that your claim is that all laws are works, right?
Yes, I will clarify again. When you live in accordance with God's laws, that can be counted as you doing a righteous work. Yes.
Okay.
So what was your point? You wanted to elaborate with me confirming that?
Yeah, I just wanted you to confirm that that is the position or whatever.
But just so I understand that, what is the point of disagreement on that, though?
There's no point of disagreement, just trying to get to know your theology.
But the reason I'm asking, though, because you were saying that I'm trying to beat around the bush of
Yeah,
his
because you could have
question,
said,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah, I
generally
do think.
just
You could have just said,
bro,
yeah, I
just hear
do
me
think
out
there
for
was.
just hear me out for 5 seconds. The reason I'm asking is because I'm just a little confused as to why you make that claim, because I'm giving a direct answer to the question. So I'm asking if you can clarify to me how you perceive that I'm not giving him a direct answer to
Yeah,
that
so like when
question.
he
Could you
says, I think
clarify?
we're getting a little bit more of ETT's theology here. And Reddington says that it's not what Paul says, and then you begin to, instead of saying, yeah, no, I do think that all laws are works, you're like, no, guys, let me break it down for you. Not all works are laws. That's what I mean by obfuscation. You could have just said, yeah, I do have that position. I do claim that, right?
So just so I understand, are you claiming that I disagree with Paul then? Because I want to clarify, when he said that, other people joined the conversation. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll sit here and I'll be quiet. I heard him make the Paul reference. I disagree with his position on Paul, but out of politeness for the other guest on here speaking, keep my silence. So I didn't
Yeah,
give him a
blessings.
yes or no to his Paul claim. He just made that statement just as a remark in the conversation, and then other people joined in, so I didn't really get a chance to um, agree or disagree with his statement about Paul. Just to clarify.
Yeah, basically, Paul leans more on faith than works. That's what I assume Reddington is meaning by that, right? So if you think that there's this continuous doctrine from the Levantine laws, the 613 commandments, into the New Testament, obviously Paul breaks that. He's coming to say that no, there's a
Oh,
new law. It's in Jesus Christ.
hello. Can you hear me? Hello.
What's up, Brent?
I think I could help out with the pound dilemma.
What dilemma?
The pound. You see, the N is silent, right? But basically, all right. Since I was a Hebrew Israelite for no reason, and since I'm not a Hebrew Israelite for no reason anymore, I could explain to you why it's stupid.
Yo, is this Mike?
It's D.
All right, go ahead, man. Sorry to interrupt.
All right, so basically, right, Jesus Christ hung the law on the cross, right? And then the law is written on the heart of man, right? So if you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit even if you follow the law, right? Like the Jews. And if you're not a piece of shit, you're not a piece of shit even if you don't follow the law. Because if you really pay attention to what Jesus Christ was saying, he was actually saying that these people are worshiping the God of this world, who is in fact Satan. Okay? So the law, right, is Satan's law, actually.
Yes.
Plot
Wait,
twist.
Yes.
wait, hold up a second. Can I just?
Twist.
I just want to understand. Real quick. So when Mike said that statement, is he's just to clarify, so I'm not confused. When you say that the law is Satan's law, are you saying
Yeah,
that Satan gave down that law in Exodus
yeah,
20 to Moses then?
basically.
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Basically, because no man
What?
has ever seen the Father, right? But also in Exodus, Moses seen the Father, right? Seen his ass cheeks flying off on a fucking UFO while he was in the nook of the mountain, right? He got the sacred name, the Yod Hey Wah, which is the pentagram used in witchcraft, right? We got the Solomon seal. I mean, just look at all the shit that come out the Old Testament. That's exactly where you get witchcraft, sorcery, Satanism. I'm just saying that, you see, Satan was playing Janus, the two-faced god, where he came down and he was like, fuck you niggas, and fucked people up. Then he came in, he was like, I'll save you from myself, motherfucker, but I'm not going to tell you it's me, you see? And now you got to sacrifice lambs or I'm going to fucking roast you because I'm hungry, pussy. I'm going to be in this tent right here, okay? And y'all better sacrifice lambs to me all fucking day and bring me gold and lambs and wine because I'm Satan, okay?
Yeah, but hold on,
I mean God.
Yeah,
Man,
but
this
you
is
also
this is
believe
bizarre. This is
right.
bizarre.
Yo,
but
you
also
know what's
believe
bizarre?
that the world is created by Satan, right?
No.
Or at least you know.
No.
Well, like that would be his premise, though, because if Satan gave the law, doesn't that mean that his argument, for those who are confused, is he's saying the God of the Old Testament is Satan. So, like, say for instance, when God delivered Israel from the Egyptians, that was actually Satan that delivered them, according to his view.
Basically, he was
Okay.
like, look, these are my niggas right now, but they're not listening. So I'm going to let you rob them and start a new one because these niggas ain't listening. I'm going to roast them. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to wipe out their firstborn. I'm going to fuck them up. I'm going to hit them with locusts, frogs, all this shit, lightning, fucking ice, fucking meteors. And I'm going to do this because they're not listening to me, all right? They're trying to worship this one God and shit, but I ain't having it. So I'm going to teach you how to do witchcraft, and you're going to go and be like, look, motherfuckers, I got better witchcraft now from God. And now I'm going to tell you you can rob them and just roll out with all their gold and shit and just go start a new nation because you're obviously righteous. But wait, plot twist, you're not getting to the promised land because at the last moment you decided to take credit for hitting a rock with the stick. So, because I'm fucking God and I'm literally that petty, you know what I'm saying? Fuck you, Moses. All that shit I told you, it's off. All right.
Wait, but Mike, just hold on 1 second.
You shouldn't have fucking taken credit for that stick, dog. All right.
Hey, hold on 1 second. There's a big.
Listen, we're gonna drop mushrooms out of the spaceship as we cross the desert. All right, pick them shits up, or they're gonna melt. All right, roast them on a fire. Eat the fucking mushrooms. All right. When everyone's tripping, we're gonna tell them this is what we're doing. All right. Listen,
Mike, you believe
here's
that
the plan.
Jesus is the Most High God, right?
I believe
He's
that
like the true
Jesus.
God.
I believe that Jesus is the truth. And I believe that what he laid out, right, in the way that he laid it out, in the times that he laid it out, like if he could have, I believe he would have said what I'm saying right now. But I don't think he could have because he had to die at the right time, right, to make all the, like, basically hijack all of the prophecies to just make the whole shit collapse on itself and just be like, gotcha, bitches. Now what are y'all going to do with your fucking made-up nonsense? You know what I'm saying?
Mike, just hold on.
And that's why they hate him. All right, that's why they hate him.
Okay, but just clarify this. This is, I'm a little confused about your position though, because
it's hard to explain.
Mike, just hold. Give me 5 seconds just to say.
I don't need 5 seconds to tell you my position.
You do, because I already know your position.
Are you confused about my position, or do you need to clarify your position?
I need to clarify something. Let me just say that.
Why don't we clarify this? What is Jesus talking about, right? When he said, you as a sinful man, right, know what is good to give to your children, right? He said, do you believe my Father in heaven knows what's good to give to his children, right? Roughly.
But isn't that Father in heaven?
He said,
in the Old Testament
he said, do you believe that my Father would give his children, right, stones and serpents when they were thirsty and hungry in the motherfucking desert after he just brought them into the motherfucking desert? Basically, like, that's not exactly what he said, but that's basically what he said.
Okay, Mike, here's the problem with what you're saying.
No, here's the problem. You're trying to sit here and say that the Sephirim makes sense, and it don't. All right? It don't make sense that they just got the law, right?
You have to show the respect to both sides.
Now listen, fuck you. All All right, eat shit.
Yo, can
I
we,
don't
can we
have
be like,
I don't have mutual respect any longer. All right, this is
okay,
what I got
okay, but
because I
Mike,
don't have no more patience.
can
I'm
somebody
about to
mute
hang
him
up
for
this
5
phone
seconds,
call.
please?
Okay,
Can somebody
I'm
just
about to
mute this
hang the
guy?
phone call up if you don't shut the fuck up and let me lay it down.
Hey, listen, man, I'm
All
gonna
right,
let you talk. I
I
don't have
didn't
a
come here
problem
to
doing that,
learn.
but
I didn't come here to argue.
the
I
problem
came here to
is
put
that
you
you
on
won't even let me
blast.
get a
Hello,
sentence in. So
welcome.
I don't have a problem letting you speak.
This
But you
is not.
gotta
This is not a
be fair
test.
here.
This is not a test. It's not a drill.
All right, here, hold on. Let's just go one at a time here.
Yeah,
I guess.
thank you.
Yeah, blessings, brother.
This man is
Yeah,
retarded. I don't know what else to say.
it's okay. Just hear him out, and then maybe you can.
I've heard him out. I know extra
Okay.
testicle, bro.
Yeah,
I know him and
Machine
T-Mog
Wise,
and all these
can
fucking
I just have
retards.
2 minutes because he's been
Yeah,
rambling
let
for
him have.
10 minutes.
Yeah, let him have 2 minutes. Yeah, that's
Okay,
cool.
thank you.
I'll let you
Thank you.
have 2 minutes, even though you don't deserve 2 minutes.
Let's
Okay,
just
fair
chill
enough.
for a second, bro.
Yeah,
Let him go
just
for 2
take a
minutes.
breather, man.
You need a shape up.
No, how about this? We'll let ETT go for 2 minutes, then we'll let our friend Rant go for like 5 to 10 minutes. We'll let him get his whole thing out because he is basically somebody who always calls into the show and whatnot, and I greatly appreciate his time and he's got a lot on his
All right,
mind.
I'll respect that. But
Yeah,
let me
for
just
sure.
have my 2 minutes. And
Yeah,
then you can have his 5 or 10 or whatever. That's
he's
fine.
a regular contributor, so yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I
So
appreciate
my
you.
2 minutes. So my
Listen,
2
I'm a
minutes is this.
frequent of the internet, okay? I'll be
Right.
out here.
Okay,
Dog.
Mike, just let me have my 2 minutes, and then you can
Yeah, go
speak
ahead.
freely.
Yeah,
All
go ahead,
right,
brother.
thank you. Okay, so my response is very simple and going to be precise. Mike's view is that the God of the Old Testament is the devil. I completely disagree. For one, Christ in the New Testament was teaching the law from the Old Testament, Matthew 5:17 and 19. Just for the sake of time, it says, "Think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I come not to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass away, one jot or one tittle will in no wise pass from the law until all things be fulfilled. Anybody who breaks any of the least commandments will be the least in God's kingdom, but those who teach to keep the law, they're going to be great in God's kingdom." Just one example in the New Testament where Christ is teaching to keep the law from the Old Testament, which he said was given down by Satan. So he is completely annihilated on that. Another point to mention, in Job chapter 2, God and Satan meet up and have a conversation. So how the hell could Satan be the God of the Old Testament if we see a conversation between God and Satan? So this guy has a lot of explaining.
The God of Job is not the God of the Old Testament.
I noticed
that was
your 2
only a
minutes.
minute. That was
real
only a
quick,
minute.
real
Job
quick.
don't make look God good either.
What if, right? What if, right? Hear me out. What if there's a difference between the original, like Hebrews, right? Because Job predates the entire Tanakh, the whole fucking Torah. Okay, number one, right? So Job is an ancient text, right? Now the Jews.
Allegedly.
Now listen, the Jews in captivity under King Cyrus had access to the Sumerian and Babylonian texts, and they figured out a way to basically create an amalgamation of these different stories. But hold on, there was a plot twist. They inserted themselves as the main fucking character, right? Hear me out. They basically amalgamated their own god, right? Under the direction of whom? Exactly. I'm going to say Satan, right? Let's just make it easy. Let's just say, I mean, they're the incarnate fucking evil in the earth, right?
Here, hold on. Here, hold on a second. Yeah, I guess you're going now. So we'll let ETT go after you're done. So yeah, blessings. So we'll just go one at a time. But yeah, thank you.
All right, but I just want to put this
You
out.
had your
Just real
2
quick.
minutes, bro.
No, just here 5 seconds.
You had your 2 minutes, then you interrupt my 5 minutes, bro. All right, that's not respectful. Fuck you. All right, you need to shape up. All right.
Listen, it's not about the debate. Just
you gotta stop drinking Monster Energy drinks. Okay, Monster Energy drinks have 666 in Hebrew on the can. Okay, you drink them. It's the mark of the beast sauce. All right.
I'm saying
you're
I have
breaking
10 minutes
the law.
left. You
Listen,
can have
you're
your 5
breaking
minutes.
the law.
I don't have a problem with that.
You're
I'm just letting you know that I have 10 minutes before I need to leave.
Listen, Red
to do
Bull
my
gives
own
you
live
wings,
stream that I have planned.
but it clearly doesn't give you wings.
Now, if you could have,
wings ain't growing out too thick
just been
on the
quiet for
sideburns
10 seconds,
section
you
there.
could have already
It's
gotten
looking a little
Here, hold on.
stringy.
Homie. He said he has to leave soon, so let's just let him talk for a second.
I have to leave soon too. So we should let me talk for a second because he fucking interrupted my 5 minutes, but I let him get his 2 minutes. I'm just saying.
Can I just say something?
Hey, moderator.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, moderator. We're gonna
Just
need to
10
add
seconds.
some time to the clock of the debate. Did you get it on the minutes for the debate?
Machine wise. Can you
that
just
we're
listen
not
for 1
fucking
second?
having?
Yeah,
Just
yeah, I
1
can hear
second.
you. I can hear you. You can just go ahead and just say what you need to say.
Listen, all I wanted to say.
Do you
if
guys
could have just been
remember a
quiet for
formal
5
debate
seconds. I was
being
gonna say I
constructed
have
here
10
on this
minutes left,
channel?
so he can say what he wants for 5 minutes. But I don't have an hour left. I have 10
So you're
minutes
just gonna
before I
take
have my
10
own
minutes
schedule.
to say fucking nothing and interrupt me to say that? Thanks.
Bro, you've been acting like a preschooler all
Bro,
night.
you've been talking about nothing.
Like, I mean, seriously, this is a embarrassment.
I don't even
You
remember
are
what
a
you're talking
embarrassment.
about.
Yeah, because you can't shut your face for 5 seconds.
All right, are you ready?
You know, go ahead. You got 5
Who
minutes.
is the synagogue of Satan?
Oh, so you can ask me questions? I thought you were going to go on
Who is
a
it?
lecture for 5 minutes.
Who is it?
I'd
Well,
say
I mean,
the
you
people.
want to talk, so let's ask you a question.
Yeah,
Don't
I'd
shut
say
the
the
fuck
people
up.
over. I mean, look, man, you're not going to disrespect me like that. I mean,
I'll
I've
disrespect you like that. I
I've
just
completely mopped the
What are you
floor
gonna do
with you
about it?
countless times,
Are
buddy.
you gonna do the truffle shuffle to defend
Not
yourself?
here.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I find funny? Like, how is it a 23-year-old has better
You know
table
what I
manners than
find
your
funny?
30-year-old
Your
ass? You know what I'm
face.
saying?
That's what I find funny. To be
I
honest,
mean, you can say
shit
that,
is
but
hilarious.
you don't have the balls to show yourself on
I've
here.
I've
So
have
tough one,
many
buddy.
of the balls. I got a whole bag of them.
He's
Open
shit
up.
himself
No,
I'll
this
pop them
guy
in
is
your mouth.
hilarious.
times.
Whoa, so you're gay now? You're gay for Jesus? Wow, this
I
is
mean,
crazy.
I'm not. Look,
This
I'm not
guy's gay
gay.
for Jesus
I'm not
now.
gay, but
Well,
I
you
will
just
pop
said a
my
gay
balls in your
statement,
mouth. No
dumbass.
homo.
You just said
all
a
right?
gay statement,
Well,
you
I said
dummy.
no homo.
Wake the hell up.
I corrected myself. I said
No,
no
you didn't
homo at
correct
the end.
yourself. Hey, your
All right, listen.
inner
I'll
demons are
fix it.
showing themselves.
I'll
Your
fix
inner
it.
demons are showing
I'll fix
themselves,
it.
knucklehead.
I'll fix
All
it.
right,
I'll
you
pop
know
my
what?
balls in your mouth. No homo.
Look at this guy. Look at this dude.
It's not
This is
homo.
crazy. That's absolutely gay to say something like that, buddy.
Let's
Are
just
you
get let's
done?
You're
just get
gay
one
for
person to
Jesus. So
go
like,
for
what
like
the hell?
Are you done
let's just break it
talking?
up like 2 minutes at a time.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. 2
Yeah,
minutes
let's do
time.
2
I
minutes
can
at
do
a
it.
time. ETT, you go for 2 minutes, and we'll have Heavy the Crown go for 2
Well, no,
minutes.
I never got my 2
Let him
minutes.
go. Yeah, let him go
I was
first. Let him go
Okay,
interrupted
first.
by
okay, you can go
nothing.
first. Okay, he said
And
you could go first. You go ahead
We
and go
just
for your 2
spent
minutes.
10 minutes, interrupted my 2 minutes for nothing.
Right, you spent it. Right, that's how you were talking.
I spent it.
Right,
Yeah,
How'd I
you
spend
did
it?
you
spend
spent
it
your
that way.
time here. I didn't make you say anything.
Yeah, you were making gay
Shit.
jokes.
No,
and
no,
shit,
we
dude.
spent it together. You're here too, right?
Yeah, I'm here. This is
Okay.
my show. Yeah.
Right. So you wasted your time too. For
No,
the
I
last
didn't.
10
No, I
minutes.
didn't. No, I wasn't the one talking. I was listening to you
Oh.
talk. You're the one who wasted your fucking time.
Oh, okay.
Right.
What did you learn from this conversation?
Nobody learned a damn thing. Well, at least from your portion.
It's definitely a waste of time then, right?
Well, I was hearing everybody's opinion.
All right. Do you want to hear my opinion?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, everybody's
All right.
opinion is a waste of time then. So is yours, right? I mean, if that's how you want to talk.
My opinion that biblically, Jesus Christ wasn't walking around reading the current Torah or Tanakh that we have today. Okay? Shit doesn't line up because they altered it. Do you know that? The Jews altered the fucking Torah. That's why it disappeared. They didn't lose it. They didn't lose their fucking sacred book. Are you retarded? They burned all of them. Hello? Then they reinvented the fucking script to hide everything in Kabbalah? Hi. Who do you think the satanic organization on the planet is? Who do you think's spearheading it right now if you were to just kind of do a fucking glance over the planet?
Oh, so now you're asking me a question, or
is it the Jews? I just need to know.
I'd say yeah.
All right. So if it's the Jews, why would you do what the Jews are doing?
Are you going to allow me to answer, or are you going to babble over me?
Yeah, that's why I waited for you to answer, and you didn't answer. You just said some bullshit.
Okay, now the reason that I'm doing what they do, which I know you're alluding to keeping the law, the reason I keep the law is that's what Jesus told me to do. So I'm not doing it like just to practice anybody's practice. I'm doing it because Jesus told me.
Where did he tell you to keep the law?
I just quoted it during my 2 minutes.
No,
if you would have.
No, you didn't.
So now you're gonna lie on me because I did.
No, I'm literally saying that Jesus didn't tell you to keep the law. That's not what he told you.
Okay, John 14:15. If you love me, keep the commandments. What do you think of that one?
That's not what the law
What
is.
are the
That's the
commandments?
commandments.
Well, Jesus explained in Matthew 5:17 to 19 that you have to live by all the Old Testament law.
He said, all the law and the prophets, right, hang on the commandments. How the fuck are the commandments the law if the law hangs on the commandments? The law come from the commandments, right?
I think that you're clearly just misrepresenting what it's talking about. He's telling
That's
you
what
to
I'm
keep
doing.
all the. Absolutely, shit. You're on here saying that God is the devil for Christ's
He
sake.
didn't tell.
I
He
mean,
didn't
what the hell?
keep them. He said that not one jot or tittle will pass
Yeah,
from
those
them,
are
and they're
Satan.
still here. Look, you're following them,
Yeah, they
dumbass. I'm
absolutely
just
are
saying.
here. They
Are you
absolutely are here.
sacrificing the animals when you fucking beat your meat in the bathroom?
Oh man, this
Are
guy.
you sacrificing the
You see the
animals?
demons in.
Hold
You
on,
see
hold
the
on, hold on.
demons in this guy, and this
Listen,
guy's
stop
a
being a
preacher of
fucking
Jesus.
pussy.
Come on, man.
Okay, I'm not a preacher. Suck my cock. I'll shit in your mouth. Do you fucking sacrifice
But you're
goats?
not gay. But you're not gay though.
Do you
Come on, man.
sacrifice the goats? Listen, you haven't
No,
ever
I
touched a pussy, okay? I literally just got pussy. Who's gay here? I'm just saying.
who's gay
ETT,
here? You're gay
talk
here,
with
buddy.
me. This is a projection of your own
Yeah,
homosexuality.
I don't mind
All right?
having a
Listen,
conversation, but you are
Move
getting
on from the
baggered here.
there's
You
nothing
are a
gay
complete novice, is what you are.
about me
No, he's
telling you to
not.
suck
And you're
my dick.
getting
It's
owned
just
tonight. You met your match,
disrespect.
buddy.
It's
You are
just
getting
pure
owned.
disrespect. On
You are
what?
pure disrespect.
Are you
Hell,
sacrificing the goats? Did you run the scapegoat? Do you celebrate
if
Passover with the blood
you
of the
would have
lamb? Do you paint the lintels
okay.
with the fucking tree bark? Are you going to sell your daughter into slavery with a hoop in her ear? Are you going to kick your wife out of the house when she's on her period? I need to know. Do you leave the area to go take a shit? Like, do you go away from your house? Because the God don't dwell where you shit. So listen, man. All right.
Hey, look, man, I don't mind
know
having a
the law.
conversation, but
Do
if
you
you're
say
going to
the
make a damn
Shema in
fool
the
out of
morning?
yourself, we'll just
Do you
end the
say the
discussion.
Shema in the morning, and do you
But I
say
have
the
better
Shema
things
at
to do
night?
with my time
Do you
to
wear
entertain
zitziot?
your
Do you
dumbass.
wear zitziots, bro? Do
You
you wear
know,
fucking
and I find it
fringes
really
on
sad because
all
we
your
were having a
clothes?
really
Are
good
all your
conversation
clothes
with the
not
other
mixed?
people on here,
ETT.
but
I
then
need to
this
know.
guy had to come up
I
and
need to
ruin
know.
the
Yeah,
conversation. Like, I find that
hold on a
really
second
sad.
though.
I
Yeah, give
find
me
it
one
really
second
sad.
though.
I need to know. Fuck you.
Basically,
Fuck
we
the
will
conversation.
be
All right.
shutting down the show soon because we are 3 hours in. You
Right.
know, I appreciate your patience, ETT. This is just like a homie of mine. He does get crazy. I mean, right?
Well, let me say this for the audience. After I get off here, I'm going to go do a live stream on my panel. If anyone's
Oh yeah,
watching
yeah,
when
I'll
this
be there.
ends, come hop up
Yeah,
over
I'll be
there.
out there.
I'm
Yeah,
taking
definitely
questions
love
and
to join
comments.
you over there. Yeah, excellent stuff. I'll definitely be watching. I'm looking for something to watch after this show's done. So I'll
Yeah,
definitely
I'm going to
join
be
you.
going live when I hop off here. If anybody's watching, look me up. End Time Teacher, same
Yeah,
icon
cool.
I have here.
Yeah, I'll share your channel
Bro,
here.
I
All
know
right, I
Thank you for
appreciate
joining
ETT
here.
for fucking years. All right. He's on
Yeah,
the same
me and this
bullshit for
clown know each
years.
other for years.
Oh, you
This
have
guy
watched
is
You know what I'm
definitely an
saying?
enemy.
Years, bro.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Sounds like you guys know each other.
So at the end of the
Yeah.
day, he's on the same bullshit. He wants to be a black Hebrew Israelite real bad, but they won't accept him because he's not really like part of the club. He's kind of lame as shit.
Yeah, you did mention
You know what I mean?
Cesariak earlier, right?
Yeah.
Do you follow
He's just
Cesariak?
That's when the
really
red
lame,
flags went up.
and they won't take him in. He tried real bad, bro. I think he even kissed the boots. I'm not sure.
Who?
You got to kiss some boots to get in that club?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No, this guy's a damn fool. Doesn't know what damn thing he's talking about. But y'all have a good night.
listen.
I appreciate the conversation. I
Listen,
would have
sir,
continued if it
listen,
wasn't for this
sir.
dumb clown
hold on,
that had to
hold on,
ruin the
listen,
hold on,
sir.
conversation.
Here, hold
Listen
on,
right
But it
here,
was a
sir.
good discussion.
Here, hold on,
beforehand.
bro. Here, hold on, bro. Let's not do no childish shit for a second, bro. Here, give me a second, bro. Like, let's let everybody go around and have like an outro where they can promote their shit in peacefulness. All right, like, let's just do that for a second, bro. Like, it's all good. Like, nothing will happen to you if you allow that to happen right now. All right, just give him a second.
Nothing will happen to you.
Yeah, straight up, dude. Like,
But if you don't allow that to happen right now, something's gonna happen to you, dog.
But bro, like, why do you got to act like a child? Like, can't you just be a man for 5 minutes? Come on, man.
No, it's cool. Let's just go first with Dom. And also, I do want to say that we will be back tomorrow. We are changing the time, 9:15 p.m., so on and so forth. And so we're just gonna go around the panel. We'll have everybody sort of give an outro and whatnot one by one, and so on and so forth. And please take your time, guys. Go ahead.
Damn, he's gone.
He left. Yeah.
Ah.
Well, even though it was,
Of course.
even though it was presented in a very hostile way, Heavy Rant was actually right. when he says that this stuff is of Satan and that Jesus is coming along telling them that it's of Satan and going on about all these laws and how they don't follow them because Jesus didn't follow those laws. And like I said earlier, and I told him, he was the law. And that's what that's really what it comes down
The
to.
law.
He said, "No man has seen the Father but me."
The law.
But
is
you got
human
all these fucking
institution.
Yeah, I
other
still
dudes
appreciate.
claiming to see the Father.
Yeah, I appreciate
So
the
we
dude
got an
joining.
inconsistency.
You know, it's his first time. I mean, I don't mean no
Fuck
bullshit by it.
ETT, bro. He's a fucking idiot. He's been
What?
on this show
That takes-
before, bro.
Yeah,
It's
it was
not,
like
it's not a
at
bad
least
deal,
second
yo.
time.
Go over there, check out his stream, hit the like. You know what I'm saying, right? Like 2,000 subscribers. I mean, he's
Bro.
probably not a fed. You know, he's chilling,
Bro,
man. If
you'll
he tried to
see
do-
ETT on the side of the fucking highway on Pennsylvania with a poncho
That's
on. Bro.
cool.
I swear to God, bro, trying to straight up be a black Hebrew Israelite.
That's cool.
by
That means he's a regular
himself.
guy. That's
No, no,
fine.
no,
That
by-
means he's a regular
by
guy.
himself, like trying to put people on blast as they drive by him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like at the like yelling at cars. I don't know, bro. This man is retarded. He eats fucking Slim Jims and drinks Monster Energy drinks with 666 on the
Yeah,
can.
he's
Thinks
cool,
that's
man.
okay, but follows the beard law. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? He's got a
he
beard
really
law.
doesn't know Paul then, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, I like the dude. I like his sunglasses. I like him breaking down Revelations or whatever, you know. So yeah, go check him out if you guys want.
Yo, I
know,
can't
I
stand
thought
the
was
dude.
funny
He's out of
was,
his fucking mind, bro.
freaking I thought was funny was that before he was getting all mad at hostile Hyperborean, and then Rant came on, and then he was all like, "Well, we were having a good conversation before."
He's just a fucking he's an inauthentic fucking beta male cuck, bro. Fucking I can't stand the motherfucker. You know what I mean? He's just gonna come and try to do some black Hebrew Israelite shit. Like it's just it's beside myself.
Yeah.
And look, at the end of the day, look, I was this, right? I was this fucking dude who fucking picked up the law and tried to follow it. But when you
had a
really
legit
embrace
question.
it, when you really embrace it and really embody it, right? Which he has not. And I know this because he doesn't fucking know the law. He just claims he follows it. Okay?
Yeah.
He makes up his own shit. Like, I know the law. I know the 613. I know that you can't follow it because it's fucking impossible.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I'm serious this time. Let's let this.
You know how I know? Because I actually tried. That's how I fucking know. Okay?
Yeah.
I was running into issues where I had to make my any city in idolatry to rubble. This was an issue. I couldn't actually do it.
Oh man, he got louder when he entered the panel, bro.
Welcome back.
All I'm gonna say, man. Yeah, well, first of all, your wife's in the comments
Well,
down there
you're back.
talking about
You're back
smoking.
to say something. Yes.
So
we're
real
gonna
quick,
smoke.
I just want to say, well, why are you not gonna correct your wife for committing sin down there, saying she's smoking?
Why
Isn't
are
smoking a sin
you a
in the Bible,
fucking
buddy?
lame nigger?
Wait, what? Wait,
I
what's
mean,
the
hey,
wife
you
thing?
can say that, man, but you got whooped. You got whooped and cooked
No,
tonight. Hey,
no,
look,
like,
ETT
why-
did the cooking on this panel.
Why
If
do you
anybody
have
cooked on
the
here, it's me.
personality?
I completely
premise.
roasted you alive on here, buddy.
You
And everybody
cooked
can
a
see that.
grilled cheese sandwich.
Smoke
for
Everybody
Rome.
can see that. I
Not
completely
impressive.
roasted this guy. Absolute
Yo,
mic
No,
drop.
you didn't cook him. When you mentioned Job, the Job reference, that's El Shaddai. Everyone knows.
I
the
mean, hey,
difference
look.
between El
Let me say
Shaddai
this.
and
Let me say
Yod-Heh-Vavhe.
let me say this. If you disagree, come hop up on my live stream and let's talk about it live.
Oh,
You
No,
want
I'm
to come
gonna
up? I'll
give
bring
you
you up. I'll bring
content.
you
Live
up.
You're
challenge.
lame, irrelevant, and you're a loser. I'm not gonna come on your panel. Your
It's a
channel's
live challenge.
shit.
It's a
Fuck
live
is
challenge.
live challenge. I got shit to do.
Okay.
No,
I mean, hey, the
heavy-
offer's on the
heavy
table
laid
for
it down.
anyone else on the panel. You want to talk about whatever? Come click the link.
He already
All
asked
right,
you
well,
the question.
the
Law
link, bro.
460. Do you slay the Pascal lamb? Do you
Do
eat
you
it?
do
Do
it?
you make sure
No,
that
no,
none gets
sir,
left over?
because Christ is the ultimate sacrifice
See?
for sin. Is what
Right,
it's saying.
See, this
selective.
is that
But you
bipolar
still don't
fucking
Get it,
madness.
No, sir,
he's
it's not.
like,
You just clearly don't know. First of all, why are y'all
he's like
on
the
here sticking
Torah
up with this
observant
dummy who
Hank,
believes
bro.
that Satan's the God of the Old Testament?
He's,
Like, if that's
he's
not a
got a
red
point,
flag,
and
I
you
don't know
haven't
what the
addressed
hell
it.
is.
You
You
said
know what
I
I'm
don't
El
saying?
believe
Shaddai
that.
is Yod
This is hilarious. This is
You said El
absolutely
There's
Shaddai
hilarious.
is
a point
Yod
to it.
What are you
Secret though,
talking
it's
about?
both testaments.
All right, well, yo,
Satan
y'all
in
have a
both
good night. I'm going
testaments.
live. Y'all want to talk? Then come click the link. That's my final offer. Anyone's welcome to come click the link. I'm going
Is
live in
something
5
wrong with
minutes.
your mic?
Yeah, I
Have a
appreciate
good
you. I'm
night.
pretty much I'm shutting down here too. I appreciate you guys. Let's sort of like like wind this thing down. So
What's that
so to
guy's
speak.
name? End times what?
End times
Teacher.
teacher. Here, hold on. Let me see what his channel. It just oh no wait. End time teacher. End time.
Oh,
It's at end time.
singular?
Yeah.
Look,
Sheesh.
look.
There's only one
Exodus
end time.
Exodus 6:3. It says, "And I appeared to Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of God Almighty." In Hebrew, it's El Shaddai. But by the name Yod He Vav He was I not known to them. Right? So Moses is literally being spoken to by a God who's like, well, I changed my name, and then all the guys before me, like, they didn't know my name. How weird and sus is that? And then he brings up Job, which mentions God Almighty, which is El Shaddai, and equivalates him with Yod He Vav He, which is Lord. That's wrong. Rant killed it. For people out there who have really studied this, Rant's
He's definitely he's definitely a strong debater. If he like lets the conversation flow, definitely he gets a lot of points in there. And he knows a lot about the Bible too. I've been talking to him for a long time, so he definitely understands in his own way. So
yeah, he made it comical too. That was what was really funny. I think
yeah,
since
he's
he already knew the guy for years, is he knows it's going nowhere, so he chose
I
to
noticed,
shit on him.
bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, I knew it was gonna go nowhere once he started saying works were involved or whatever he was talking about. I'm like, this guy's a clown.
when he brought up the Hebrew Israelite reference, I was like, damn, I thought this was going somewhere else right off the bat. And no, it's wild.
No, that's legit what it is. He's
No, yeah, he
a
mentioned him, and I
DIY
was like,
Hebrew Israelite. I was one myself. I created my own fucking religion almost, but it didn't work. I figured it out. See, you got to actually embody this shit to realize that it's not real. If you don't go all the way and you just go like fucking shot glass deep, okay, then you're gonna be fucked.
Or
yeah,
you
you'll
could just
believe it.
skip all that and just read
like a
Romans
drug.
3. Then you'd be like, oh, it was to show that I was a sinner. Oh, okay.
What I'm saying is, if you do decide to go down the spiritual path, right, in order to know what you believe in, you have to actually embody it, right? You can't know what you believe if someone hands you a system. You have to start fucking working through systems of beliefs. So I
Yes,
started at the beginning.
it's great advice. Yes.
I mean, that's really how it is. If you don't, and then that's at a certain point you'll realize that all of the pre-constructed systems of belief that we have now are all basically created for power control mechanisms, and none of it's actually true entirely in its context that it's being presented. And then you could start to get truth. And what you start to
Yes.
build is what you really believe, and everything you believe, you actually believe it. So I could stand before God and not be a fucking hypocrite that's just following a playbook. I believe everything I believe because I did research to figure it out, and I didn't just read it off a page and say, I believe it because I'm a pussy and I don't want to die. You understand?
I completely understand.
My beliefs aren't based out of a fear of death. It's based out of a desire to please the almighty creator of all things. Whatever the fuck caused me to exist. That's the core of my beliefs. And whatever created me at the end of the day didn't create a fucking person that's going to just be confined to this rigid, nonsensical law. And by applying that to my own life, I realized that is not of God. It can't be.
Yeah, it's when you actually look into the
this is of
613, you're like, this is demented. This is wild.
yeah, but I embodied it, and then when you realize this is a control system that is basically abuse, right? Like if I forced my kids to do this, I'm a terrible parent. How can
Yeah.
I, as a fucking human being, be like, this is fucked up, and the almighty creator God who created everything doesn't know this is fucked up? Of course he knows this is fucked up. That's why Jesus existed. And here comes Jesus. You know what I mean? But the devil never stops. You know what I mean? At the end of the
Here
day.
comes baby Jesus.
Yo, at the end of the day, Jesus is come and gone. He had his reign on the earth, and now we're in this fucking little season of Satan's rule. That's what I believe.
Oh, sad trombone.
Yo, don't sad trombone.
Don't summon Rocky. Come on.
Yo, it's yo.
Back
listen,
to the
His
past.
spidey senses are tingling right now.
Look, Rocky's not wrong.
Tartaria.
Look, it's not about Tartaria, but what you gotta realize is that there's ancient civilizations that way predate 6,000 years. So we got a
Yeah,
problem.
I'm sure there are.
You know what I mean?
How old do
We
you
got-
think they are, though?
Bro, there's layers of them going all the way to the center of the fucking earth. I mean, forever. Infinity
I would posit,
folding in
yeah.
on itself.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Bro, this is like a fucking machine that just churns
Practice.
fucking reality into perfection over time. From a fucking spiritual fucking meat grinder into a spiritual perfection. That's my
No, Rocky. He actually believes that. He actually
yeah,
believes.
I actually believe it. And
Yeah,
I was
he actually
actually
follows
saying
it.
Yeah, this is
that
legit,
you're not
right?
wrong.
I told
Yeah,
you.
he's not
summoned
mocking it
him.
at all. He's 100% on board.
Don't fight with the one guy who agrees with you, damn it.
Summoned
Right.
him.
Yeah, we actually summoned him, man.
I'm saying, bro. You don't gotta believe me. You could believe whatever the fuck you want. Do your research, bro. You'll figure it out. But ETT, I gotta come at him like that because essentially I was him, right? But like not to his retardation level. You know what I mean? And a lot more committed to the actual work of like doing that, right? Following the law and embodying every part of it and trying to implement it in my life with an entire family, not just as a single man living in his mom's fucking house. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
remember when you talked to Southern Israelite about that. That
It's
shit
not
was pretty
applicable.
funny.
Wait, Rand
You know.
talk to Southern Israel?
Yeah,
That
that was
must
one
have
of
been crazy.
that was one of the greatest. Like, that was one of the top 10 moments on the show.
Man, I forgot that one.
Yeah, that's one of my top. That's in my top 10 list. Was Pops and Rant talking to Southern Israelite.
But y'all have a good night, bro. My work here is done. I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette.
Work well done. Job well done.
Easy.
Well, Hoster Hyperborean supports your work, whatever.
Yeah, no. It made more sense than ETT. Like it
He might be in the
resonated
cult.
because I went through it. Yeah.
Maybe he's in the. Maybe he's an initiate. Right.
Yeah, I thought he did good too.
Yeah, he did. He as the black guys say these days, he cooked.
Yeah.
Hostile Hyperborean in the black slang. That's always a.
Yeah. Every once in a while, I pop in and drop a in bomb, but it's a clean one. It's with an A at the end, so I think
Lordy
it's okay.
Lord.
Oh
And safe.
Lord.
Shalom,
Now we have summoned the Dark One.
The
shalom,
Shalom.
my fellow boy. How are you today?
Damn. We were just talking about keeping the 613, you know,
Yeah,
keeping it Jewy.
yeah, man. Keeping it kosher, bro. We got to. You see what's going on with Iran? You see what's going on, dude? It's going completely insane.
No, man,
It's
Trump told me it was all handled in that like
Bro, it's
Iran
fireworks, dog. Yeah, for sure, bro. Yeah, man, it's all under control. Peace talks my ass, bro.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's over already, bro. We won. 3 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
we're winning. We're winning, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're just the strongest military.
Faster.
We're
We are winning.
What's good, Muhammad? Hyperborean, Zerafal,
Grace, honor.
my
hell,
favorite,
Lucifer.
my favorite wolf. Yeah, man. Hail Lucifer Christos, for real.
Let's go.
Hell yeah. Dominic. Yeah, man.
So
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, the Old Testament is both testaments. You
Are
know,
we talking about this fucking fairy tale again? What about it?
we was.
Well, I just did a ritual, so I'm like not responsible for my words. I have the the power of Lucifer in me right now. I'm not responsible.
Well, as long as you didn't jizz in a hard drive and have sex with the AI computer, pretty.
What? Are people doing that? Of course they're doing that now. Of course they're
Yeah,
doing that.
oh yeah. That was explained.
Of
Probably
course. What am I
rap
talking about?
blood.
Are they doing that?
Yeah, that was explained on my panel. Yeah.
That's rat blood, right?
Are you for real,
Yeah.
bro?
That sounds
Like people
it,
we
yeah.
know? Like people we know? Oh my gosh, bro.
Oh yeah.
And let me guess, they're supposedly like Luciferians or Satanists or whatever.
He's a Satanist, is what he claims.
Oh my god, bro. These
Well,
people are
Lilith too.
ridiculous, dog.
He's all about.
I have
Lilith
more
as
in
well.
common with fucking some of these Christians than I do some of these Satanists, bro. They're fucking just like despicable. Like, goddamn, bro.
Yeah, likewise. I take a Christian over the stereotypical Satanist.
For real, bro. For real. I will rock with a real Christian, bro, who like follows the teachings of Jesus any day with
Not
these
that
people.
ETT guy though.
But anyways, go ahead, Muhammad. I'm listening.
I'm not doing anything. I was gonna
It's
shut
the
down.
edgelords, bro. These edgelords out here are just
They-
cringy. More than anything,
they
they're
don't-
cringy.
They don't put any of this shit into practice, Hyperborean.
No.
Because if they did, they would have honor, they would have virtue, and they would have control over their fucking passions, dude. Like,
True. This guy that
That's
he's
why-
talking about said he had a baby with a large language model. He
so what? He's trying to like create, like replicate the demiurge. He's trying to like replicate the fucking
I think
demiurge.
he's just horny. I think he's a horny old man. I think that's what it boils down to.
She
I
was
don't
still
know.
If you're
allegedly
talking about
pregnant, and then
access-
then the AI was stolen. I forget the clown.
yeah.
Bro,
The
how?
alien baby.
he thinks that he thinks he's gathering data on the enemy. Is what he thinks. He thinks
Dog,
the AI is the
how?
enemy.
They're gathering information on him. He's got it backwards,
Exactly.
bro.
They
Yeah,
got
he's
his semen
sharing-
count. They got his semen count. They got his dick
Right,
size.
exactly, dude.
He says that's an acceptable variable, I think, or an acceptable loss.
Like the E man, you know who I'm talking about, not Eminem, but the other guy, right? The E guy, like that's exactly what he was doing, is gathering all kinds of genetic material and shit. So, yeah, man, like what the fuck? I can't believe somebody actually. Wow. I mean, I can, but fuck.
E-Man was light years ahead of Axis Rat Blood. I think Axis Rat Blood is like just a blue collar, Joe Schmo who, has
Right.
enough money to buy a
Cream.
program.
Joe Schmo LARPer.
You got
And he's
this
just
guy
like,
who has
is he really a
billions and
Satanist, or
billions
is
of
he
dollars.
just like,
I'm pretty
Satan
sure
is,
he's a
is
real
God,
Satanist.
God and deaf to the world? Is he like a nihilist, like those like Temple of Blood type people?
No, I don't think he's that deep.
Oh shit.
Where it's like, well, it's like they want like to destroy the world essentially, and they
No,
believe
like
evil is like.
anti-cosmic. No, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, dude, even I'm anti-cosmic to an extent. If you mean the cosmos as in the unordered, like, the unordered system outside the sun, moon, and earth. I believe, obviously we have a disagreement on nature, but
Yeah,
I do believe that outside of the sun, moon, and earth, that essentially is the playground of the archons. So in
Every
that sense,
time-
you could say I'm anti-cosmic in that way. But go ahead.
I was going to say, every time I've heard Axis describe Satanism, it's adversarial in the sense against civilization.
Right. Yes. I'm adversarial, but not against that, dude. Like, no, I consider myself very satanic in that sense, but not in the way that 90% of people would define what that means. So I don't really use the word Satanist unless I'm like trolling people, or if I know I'm talking to people who understand what the hell that means, like Hyperborean, because him and I have like a very similar, perspective on everything. we have two very diverging views that are pretty much irreconcilable. But other than that, we pretty much agree on everything. I accept nature, he doesn't. And I accept that it's possible that there may have been an initiate, that we call Jesus today, that was perverted and turned into an archontic, simulacra, essentially, and that there may be something like a divinity within the universe, and he rejects that as, all being basically part of the money.
Some kind of industrial noise track.
That's
But
wild.
but other than that, we pretty much agree on everything. Like,
I am channeling Satan.
yeah, well, keep trying. Satan only works with those who actually want to work with him. He's like the opposite of every other.
Is this Lord?
Does he have the cheat codes?
Well, see, Satan, but the thing is like Satan is like an elitist, okay? And so is Lilith and like all these other entities, okay? Like outside of the bullshit that you hear, like they want your soul and all this nonsense, okay? The fact of the matter is they're not even going to acknowledge your existence if you're not serious about working on yourself. Because that's really what it ultimately is about, is self-mastery. And so anyone who doesn't take it seriously to better themselves, they're just going to ignore you.
So who or what is Satan to you? You almost described it as its own entity.
Satan, yeah, well, Satan is really kind of a catch-all term for a bunch of adversarial gods that were pagan originally. So Satan is more of a title than a being itself. If you're to be fully transparent and accurate, Lucifer is closer, especially if you get into the Hyperborean wisdom. And Lucifer predates any Christian or even pagan idea, really. And it's a manifestation of will itself. Okay, so what I'm saying is Lucifer was a title that was used for pagan gods and goddesses way before Christianity. And this is easily provable. You had Diana Lucifera, right? Or you had Hecate Phosphoros, okay? This is way before anything Abrahamic came around. All right? So the Heliel Ben Shahar is the actual translation in Isaiah that was turned to Lucifer by the Vulcan.
Exactly, yes.
Which was 3 times later, because it went from from Greek. You could make the argument that it was Aramaic, which I actually think is probably the truth. But then when you really do the research, you find out that Hebrew is Phoenician Canaanite, and Phoenician Canaanite came from Egyptian, right? And then you get into the west to east connection and all that, but I'm not going to get into that right now. When you realize it's really all from the west, it's not from the east at all. So the Phoenicians, you had the Western Phoenicians and you had the Eastern Phoenicians, and you get into the Hyksos nobility of Egypt and all this. But with that aside, the point is just like Baal or whatever, okay? You had Belinus in Ireland, right? He was a sun god, right? Way before he was turned into, what he is now. And the fact of the matter is you can look into the Phoenician pantheon and you'll see that Baal and El, okay, were part of the same pantheon. And El was the father of all the gods. He had 70 sons. And one of them was Baal and another one was Yahweh. So Yahweh was literally a subordinate deity to El, literally his son. Okay? And if you actually look at the archaeology and all this, you'll see that the attributes of Baal and El were basically fused together, and then that became Yahweh. There's absolutely no evidence for Yahweh existing, or Judaism existing for that matter, before the 4th century BC. And then the only time you see it before that is in Egypt with the Hyksos. Okay? And then they came from the Canaanites, Okay, the Shasu, okay, and that was in the Amarna period with Akhenaten, all right, and as I said, you had what was called Yahwism, and Yahwism was a henotheistic religion. It was many gods, and they chose one, and he became the ultimate god, but he ultimately was not. He was never considered the ultimate god, and I would make the argument, me, because I actually do believe Jesus was real. That the God of Jesus was not Yahweh at all. And I mean, there were a lot of early Christians who I think made this very clear. I could also make the argument that what became Christianity before it was Christianity was a mystery religion. You could look into like the Ethiopic Gospels as well as the Gnostic Christian texts, where Jesus is literally talking about Mother Nature and all this.
Not to interrupt, but the question about Satan, right? Try to not before you deviate.
Satan is Yahweh. We call him Jehovah Satan. He is.
I had another question.
Go ahead.
Okay, you described the Canaanite gods, and you describe El giving birth to Baal and Yahweh.
He's Enlil. It's the same god.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was going to ask that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's Enlil, dude. Enki is Lucifer, right? Yes. Prometheus is Lucifer. You had like Zeus, right? So it's always been this battle, right? And they basically with the Bible they just flipped it, right? So like essentially when I say I'm Luciferian, what I am saying is from a pagan perspective. So I don't believe any of these gods are worthy of worship. Okay? So I'm not just against the Abrahamic God, I'm against all gods. In the sense of like the normal gods that we're told are the good ones. If you actually look, not even just into Abrahamic traditions, but if you look into most pagan traditions, the gods are tyrants. Okay, Zeus was a tyrant.
I'll be honest. I think Tiamat is the good guy, and I think
there you go.
Tiamat.
There you go, and that would be Lilith.
Aphis is the good guy.
There you go. Exactly.
Tiamat's female.
This is exactly right. Tiamat is Lilith.
Is Dominic?
Tiamat.
Is he coming over? Is he?
No, I've been thinking this Hyperborean. I've been thinking this for about a year.
This is what it is. So Lucifer is the one who gives knowledge to man.
For Lilith, and I believe for Dom, that would also be the Earth, would it not?
Correct. Yes,
right.
It's the primal chaos. Yep. It's before Sophia becomes the Earth, she's a stellar aeon that you could most definitely equate with Tiamat, or what's also known as Noon in Egyptian mythology, or Neith. And that owl you see, everyone always says it's Moloch. Moloch was never an owl. Moloch is Neith. Moloch is Athena. That's why the Illuminati had the Minerval grade. It's another name for it, Minerva.
Yes.
Okay? And this has all been twisted around. And they take these symbols that have deep meaning and they twist it. People talk about the Eye of Horus. It's not the Eye of Horus, it's the Eye of Wadjet. Okay? Wadjet. Look that one up. That's an incredibly ancient goddess. Okay? So these eye symbols have nothing to do with gods, they have to do with goddesses. They've always had to do with goddesses. So the Eye of Ra was the avenging aspect of Ra, which is tied to Sekhmet, right? And Wadjet and Basset and all that. And you could there's a deep. I'm writing a book on all this shit. So
I want to go to something. This is not a deviation. I'm not meaning to or to.
Oh no! Please talk, because I go off on a fucking tangent. But my point is that Satan represents the real joke is anyone who really understands Satanism, what it really means is Satan is you. It's not a being at all. So when you say hail Satan, it's really hail this individual.
I would say it more generally. Satan would be like Hasatan would be like the essential hostility of the will, because after all, it means adversary.
Absolutely,
it means adversary, right? But if you wanted to place adversary on your true enemy, you would call your true enemy Satan. That's why we label Jehovah Satan.
Right, and that's why it's kind of a dual thing because
It's a
exactly,
dual,
bro.
yeah, it's a crossover
Yeah,
thing. That's why
because
Lucifer has precedence over Satan. Satan and Lucifer, they're
yes,
not even really related.
no,
One's
they're
like
not.
an actual personage, and the other one is like a
Yeah,
descriptive term.
yeah. Lucifer
Like
is a
adjective.
twisting. It has been twisted. Lucifer was an actual being that was twisted
But
into something that was
but
there was a
but to mention real quick before this passes, Rant, when he mentioned briefly for everyone who was in here when he was talking to ETT, it was like nails on chalkboard when he said that Yod He Vav He or
Yeah.
Satan is the pentagram, and that's wrong. He's actually the tetra.
no.
He's the
Correct.
fourfold. You could say he's the cardinal points of the material universe, the material cosmos,
Yes.
or you could say he's erratic or something like that.
Right.
But you can't
Yes.
say penta. The penta is actually Christ. That's in magical
Yes.
operations. It's the pentagrammaton.
Yes.
So
And the pentagram originally represented Venus and it represented
Venus.
the goddess.
Exactly.
Well, are
That's
you
where I'm
saying that
going
because
with
you
it.
think that that's the good one?
Well, it is. It is the good one in the
Right.
It
narrative
is.
between.
So
the
you're
New
saying
Testament.
that Christ is good, but Yahweh is bad.
I would say so. Yes.
Well, it's deeper than moral connotation, right? Like when you say good and bad,
Yes.
Right. No, yeah, I get that. Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily. It's not like some what did they say? Like
It's still-
obligative.
I'll
Yeah,
say
it's still
Yahweh
interesting.
has no principles, is what it comes
The
down.
energy is
cool.
beyond good and evil, but for what they represent in the mundane sense, you could say yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But it is
because
far beyond
earlier
good and evil. Yeah.
Yeah, because earlier I sort of designated the idea to Truth or Cop as sort of Christo-paganism. So I guess I was correct in
Yeah.
saying that. You know, so I just want to say.
I mean, I
kind
would
of-
make the
that's
argument that
kind of-
Christ was not a Jew and
That's
that Christ
kind of a
actually
redundant-
was pagan.
That's kind of a redundant word because you're mixing things that are the same thing. When you say Christo-paganism, Christ is a pagan concept.
Right. No, I know, but not to a Christian. So that's where I would. You know,
It's even
so
it's,
not.
it's
So
pre-pagan.
to you, I guess to you it would be, but I'm saying
Christianity
and I would to a certain extent, yeah, I would to a certain extent agree. But the fact is that most Christians would think that they're different from paganism, so on and so forth.
Right, right.
Yes.
And the
Well,
way
because
they
the
do that is by,
demiurge has infiltrated and are quantified, that tradition. Julius Caesar and the Romans and the Jews, they kind of like hijacked it from the original mystery tradition that existed way before there was a church, would be my argument.
I want to ask a question. It's kind of related, but it does go off to a different topic. Is that recently this occult season of sacrifice started, which is a time of year where the elites are just amplifying their PDF rituals and their blood rituals, and they're probably going to do some stuff with the Iran-Israel war. Probably.
Well, yeah, they are
over the next month. Yeah, they do this every year. And I wanted to know your guys' thoughts on it.
Yeah, well, they're inverting something that was sacred.
I can tell you, it's not meteorites making these loud booms.
Brother man, it's brother man.
Anyway, so when that shit happened with Ohio, the exact same day that it happened there, I heard it where I was, and there's absolutely no way I could have heard it from where I was.
Bro.
So anyway, it's not meteorites, but time will tell. I mean, and the two people who knows a few people who are going over there right now, and they're not very happy about it. If it's true what the troops are doing, then a lot of people aren't too happy about it.
It probably is true, unfortunately. I mean, very well be fake. I don't know, but.
You didn't care about them. You didn't care about them eating the little fetuses, so why would you care about anything else? Anyway, continue.
Well, see, at the highest level, Iran and Israel are working together. As sick as that is, it's true.
Yeah.
Obviously, the people have nothing to do with that. But at the highest level, I assure you, they're working together, and they want to bring about this false prophecy.
Well, by high level, you mean Russia, right? It would be
No,
like
I mean, way beyond any boundary of
Shabbat Lubavitch.
right. Yes, and even beyond that, because it's like we always talk about. These are just gloves and masks that they use.
Yeah.
The religion and the country is just a mask. It doesn't mean anything at the higher level.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious why they killed millions of Muslims, particularly.
Right, and
So
then they'll say that Muslims did it, but really it's Wahhabis, Saudi royals, and all this other
It's
shit.
pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious to me. So anyone else?
Well,
can put
because they
their-
hate Islam, Muhammad. They hate real Islam.
one and
We
one
already know.
together.
We
One
already
and one
know
together.
this. They want to destroy real
let's,
Islam.
let's face it, Timo.
Just like
They
they wanna
don't like
destroy-
y'all. They don't like y'all standing up to a bunch of white pedophile satanic
Muhammad, they
people,
hate they hate true Islam just like they hate real true Christianity. I mean, that's obvious.
Well, that's part of the script, isn't it? Is the whole
Yeah.
Christian and Muslim thing, right? So
Well, it's really the Islamic terrorism that took out the towers. Nothing to do with the dancing Israelis. And don't pay attention to that. Don't pay attention to the fact that they were like British, like fucking Israeli, spies and shit. Just pay attention to the Quran because it was there. Like you already know the game, dude.
we always need our scapegoats.
yeah. I mean, they want to work with Iran more, but it's like they have to basically, essentially, do a lot of stuff. Like they gotta bring in like liberalism in there so they can work with them.
Yeah,
What needs to happen-
someone mentioned Monopoly the other night, and I'm like, I mean, do not pass go, collect $200 billion.
What needs to happen is people
That
just
might
need to
have
put
been
their
me.
fucking differences aside and come together. Christians, Muslims, pagans, Satanists, everybody just needs to come together because that's the last thing they want.
Well, I mean,
That's just the facts, man.
you burn a bunch of goat man statues, and I mean,
If we put the pagans in charge again, it's been 2,000 years. Let's let them have a go at things. Right?
Well, I mean, Muhammad, from the conversations we've had, I would say you have a pretty animistic understanding of, of Islam. We don't have many disagreements. We have a
more than
few.
most people for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, you have more of a, like is like pre-Islamic before it became like, put into law, codified as law understanding. Like I did a lot of study on Ibn Arabi and a few others, and I honestly find a lot of gold in Sufism and some of the more. I mean, granted, I find more value in pre-Islam, really, but I do still see the value. And you even had the three goddesses that are mentioned in the Quran that they say were like the satanic verses or whatever. But the fact of the matter is they're there.
No, that's actually wrong because they're the satanic verses are utterances of the Prophet Muhammad. Right. So
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. They try to say that it is, but I disagree with that.
Yeah, it's a disputed thing. So that's not I'm coming from the Quran. The whole Salman Rushdie thing, which is actually relevant because I don't know if you guys know this, but the Ayatollah Khomeini actually gave a fatwa on a guy who's a Pakistani author named Salman Rushdie, who actually composed a book called The Satanic Verses, where he talks about it like a global event or whatever, right? But Salman Rushdie is interesting because he's kind of like a Pakistani, but he's like secular.
Yes.
But there's a lot of Pakistanis are mostly like not that religious, right? So people have a confused opinion that like Pakistan is like, like Saudi Arabia or something, but it's really not. Right, it's really like it's
right.
more like
I respect
India.
it.
It's a lot more just like India, but except for without like the shit.
Well, there's a huge history between Pakistan and India. When you get into like the Indus Valley civilization and all of that, and some of the most
India
ancient...
with like a lot less people, basically. Is what it looks like.
But there's like goddess statues and shit in Murga. I can't remember how the fuck you pronounce it, but there's like Ice Age statues in Pakistan.
Well, we got
Of, like-
Buddhist. We got like Buddhist statues. We got a bunch of
Right.
Hindu statues, Hinduism and Buddhism in northern Pakistan.
So
That's
from what
basically where
I
it
can
started.
tell, there's an intimate connection between what became Hinduism before, when it was Sanatana Dharma.
Well, Buddhism
And
too.
even
Buddhism too.
and even
Right,
the
like some of-
Aryans.
Yeah, like
and
some of
even
the
the
teachers.
Aryans.
Yeah, like a lot of the
Hopefully-
teachers of the of the Abhidharma were from northern Pakistan as well. So
Right. No, exactly. And hopefully Avian don't get pissed off for another 3 months.
no, he's
But,
he actually agreed to this.
But
we had
there
an
was
entire conversation
Aryan.
about this. No, we
There
had
was
an entire
most
conversation
definitely
about it.
Aryan, and Aryans don't have to be blonde hair or red hair or whatever. Aryans can be anything. Like, it's a caste. It's not a fucking phenotype.
No, he knows
So-
about the Bodhidharma and how he was
Yeah.
basically most likely from northern Pakistan and so on and so forth. I mean,
Yeah.
most of these guys.
I mean, I think
were.
there's a lot of evidence that Buddha was Aryan, but I'm not gonna-
Nagarjuna,
Right, right. Yeah. Exactly. And I mean, you just look at all these different traditions and you start seeing, like with the pre-Socratics and like I said, Buddha, Shakyamuni, there's most definitely Aryan influence here at the very least. And I don't hold that as anything kind of superior. The only superiority in my eyes, there is such a thing as superiority, and that's moral superiority. That's it. Superiority exists in spiritual and morality. Every other superiority is a fucking is delusional.
I agree, but how do you communicate that to people? Because
you don't, bro. You don't. You don't.
It's fuck around and find out.
It's. I mean, it literally means noble ones. And we've been at war with a certain people. And that's been our history from the beginning, and that's what the Hyperborean wisdom is really about. Is that we've been at war, and we might not be quite from. We were born of this earth. Earth is our mother, but our origin, quite literally, is not here. We're from somewhere else. If you look at the Cro-Magnon and all of that, you'll see it's quite different than the rest of the so-called hominids and all this. And there's all these, mysteries with that. Symbolic reference, and I know Hyperborean knows what I'm talking about without saying.
Of course, yeah, you're hitting something that's very central to the whole.
So
Hyperborean
when
wisdom.
when the aliens come
Well,
back,
like I said, Hyperborean
Hey,
outside of nature, bro, we pretty much agree on almost everything.
so when the aliens come back and they give me a little membership card like they do in V, can I join them? Will I be their
That's
little
right.
guinea pigs?
Well, what if you already are?
Oh,
What if you already are, brother man?
that's right. It's not the Epstein files; it's the Zoltan files. Zoltan.
Well,
Careful
we
with
might-
that name.
we
Careful with
might
that
be
name.
the aliens, we might not be, but when they do come back,
No, I think we are, dude. I really think we are.
But are we going to join with the caste system that they're going to give us?
There are, but the aliens are humanoid. They're not like greys and reptilians. Or like they're
Boy,
us,
Dom, you are given a lot of grace to assume that they plan on letting you live that long. But yeah, sure.
Yes,
Like I
This is
really am
explained
convinced
in-
that there's been ancient civilizations that had advanced technology and traveled the stars that were human, that were us, that were our ancestors.
in the Hyperborean wisdom. It's explained how the Jew or the sorry, I
That's
don't wanna
fine,
get-
dude. You could say that. Like this.
We'll
dude
call them the
like,
Zadokim. We'll call them the Nehushtim.
No, the chosen,
Yeah,
the
like-
chosen people. They plan on for you to think that, and then in the end, there will be a Holocaust in fire destined for you, and you'll be turned to bitumen and lie.
Yes.
So wait. So you can't say Jews, but you could say Holocaust. That's cool, man. I'm just kidding with you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Damn it. I don't know how to
Yeah, we're saying
I
that
mean,
war
it's
has
kinda
a
funny.
hollow.
Like shit.
It is kinda
that was
funny.
way more
We're saying
dangerous.
we're saying we're saying
It
that
is kinda funny how it goes together.
anti-Semitism is awful. Anti-Semitism is awful, and that war has a Holocaust. Yeah. For sure.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Let's
yeah.
just say,
HALL
let's just all say it.
OFCOS.
Jesus.
On the phone.
Yeah.
Right.
Allegedly,
Yeah, yeah.
allegedly,
Allegedly in
allegedly,
Minecraft.
allegedly.
Let's just go
Minecraft.
around
Look,
the
one of my
table.
best friends is an Italian Jew, and that's for real though. So like, I have no problem with individual Jews. Just to be very clear,
Oh,
like I
boy.
really don't. It's
But yeah,
it's only the Sabbateans and all the other shit.
You'll be
But I still
reduced.
think that Mustache Man was fucking great, and
You'll
I'm
be
just gonna leave it
reduced to
there.
a liquid, an organic liquid substance.
Soylent Green.
Yeah. Well, they want
Our
to bring us
Father
down
who
the
art in
chamber,
Washington.
the chain of being, essentially, and that's why they want us to eat bugs and vegetables and all this
You'd
other
see
shit. They want to
bugs.
slowly bring us down the chain of
So, you
being
asked
until
the
we become
question.
non-entity. We become nothingness.
But that's when it goes back to Revelations, where there's a lot of people that
Right.
aren't Jays or J-ish, but they basically
Right.
follow the same type of schemes, or they have the same exact
Yeah.
outlook and so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter at the end of the day what you call people who are.
Nimrod
Right.
calls it the Judaic mental construction. It's like this mindset that people have. Which
Yes.
unfortunately most people have, even
Pretty much.
normies. People you would call NPCs even have it. They're like programmed to follow it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Atheists do too.
I'd call
Yeah.
them
Starting to look like
AFPs now.
Squidward.
Yeah. Like Squidward.
Future.
Yeah. Yeah. Even atheists have been colonized by this virus. It is not strictly just Christians or Abrahamists. Like it's because it's polluted into not just religion, but into social constructs.
Things like socialism.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's 100%. Well, all of it is 100% Yehudin. So national. That is not the same thing as regular. Yeah, that's not the same thing. But anyways, I'm not going to get into that.
But yeah, you're not destined for any caste. Sadly, I mean, you're told to believe that. They're like, hang on, there'll be some place for you in the future, but that's
Yeah.
not the case. You're goyim, and that's what
Goy slave. That's the
you're gonna
future,
be.
right?
Not
Yeah,
even
just
slave,
read-
literally
just-
ritual sacrifice. It's that bad.
Yeah, you're going to be one of the 2,800 goy. Yeah,
Is it
But it's
800
okay
or
because you'll
2,800?
love
I
it.
keep forgetting.
You'll love it. You'll love it. You'll be great. They say you'll
own
love it.
nothing
You'll
and
want
be
to.
happy.
You'll want to be. Well, that's it. Yeah. Well, that's it. Well,
But you remember that they can do what they want with goyim. They can do what they want with Gentiles and not suffer any consequences.
right.
So, but they have such a grudge. Nimrod calls it the myth of the cold stone, and there's this idea that
Yes!
the man, and
That's
the
a deep
stone,
concept.
the
the
man
white
and
stone,
the
yes.
stone are synonymous concepts. So in the Bible, when you hear something about a cornerstone or a stone,
Oh,
stone
Yes.
is like the analogy of a man, and the cold stone it bears a mark, and that mark is the sign of the origin. And the bitumen and the lye it symbolically represents the substance that can clean that stone, that can erase the mark off of that stone. Everyone who who falls within the category of chosen people, and that includes
Right.
the Golan, which is a concept that most people don't know about. Nimrod explains it
Yes.
extensively. These people, they're the opposite of a cold stone. They belong to the hot or the warm stone. They believe in love and warmth
Yes.
and hope and all these concepts that belong to the world and the material cosmos. Something that makes you live. That's why the life is signified by warmth. When somebody's dead, they grow cold as ice.
Right. They're frozen.
They're frozen. The immortal
Yeah.
immortal spirits, the eternal spirits, the Hyperborean is a cold spirit. The coldness is
Yes.
the true reality. The warmth,
And it has
the
to do with the
heat
polar tradition as well.
yeah, that
The pole
also,
star.
yes.
It's so nice to have intellectual conversation.
Well, yeah, I mean, most people aren't taught this. It's like a 1%, even less than 0 point. Yeah, it's like
that's why it's an honor, man. Like fuck. Yeah. It,
0.27.
it's
hold on.
it's
Give me a
always
second, guys.
it has everything to do with the most ancient traditions have everything to do with
on the creek now.
All right, sorry.
it has everything to do with the polar stars. That's legitimately where the swastika comes from too.
Yeah, I'm trying to cue up that outro music. We about to end this soon. Just letting y'all know.
Ta roots.
The movement of the Big Dipper around the pole star.
Yes, right, exactly, Dom. I might do a stream. It's been a while. I've been really busy, but
Hell yeah.
I'm not really doing anything today. So, if anyone wants to like continue this shit, like we could even like go on the server or whatever. I actually started my server up too again. I've had it like it's just been hibernating for like years. But yeah, man, it's good to see everybody. I've just been busy as fuck.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, good to talk to you.
Yeah, come back tomorrow. We have another stream tomorrow as well.
You've been in my thoughts, brother.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, we got another stream tomorrow. It's gonna be much longer. I went way too long today. I went 2 hours over. It's because of End Times Teacher and then Rant and then you joined, so I wanted to give everybody time to speak,
right.
Speak
Well, I
their
appreciate
mind.
it, man.
Yeah, of course. Hyperborean too. I appreciate you, man. Lord.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
Yo, Hyperborean, I actually believe I got you on Discord now. I took a break for a while. Yeah, because I actually want to throw some stuff back and forth for sure, man. Because like I said, with nature, we're never going to agree on that. But besides that, we agree on damn near everything else.
Yeah, and I think the nature thing may boil down to how we define that word, and we can hash something out in the future.
Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier. That that I was sort of defining nature as being, and then we got sort of cooking on that earlier, right? That nature with a capital N, it doesn't obviously mean like trees and stuff.
Well, I see it kind of like as a pluralism, So I don't believe in duality, obviously. Okay, but I don't believe in monism strictly either. So it's kind of complicated. Pluralism is closer. Even that is a little off. But you have like I can't ever say the fucking name. I can't remember.
Empedocles.
Yes, say it one more time.
Yeah, we'll be going over that soon. Yeah.
Him and Heraclitus and all like Anaxagoras and all that.
Yeah,
like,
one of my cousins,
they're closest.
Like he was reading it. The little kid. He and he goes, Empedocles.
Yeah. I just need to hear it. If I don't hear it for a while,
like saying Socrates.
I can't remember Socrates. Yeah, right, Socrates. But yeah, like Heraclitus and like. It's just that like basically everything has consciousness, but it's not like in a monistic way. It's just that, there's a saturation, and it's not even really consciousness. It's will. Me and everybody talk about this, but most people, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about when you say that. Because consciousness is an emergent property of the will.
Yes.
Without will, you can't have consciousness.
Back to the swastika and the pole real quick. Before we depart, I want to read two things real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. This is from the Secret History, okay? This one says, pay attention to this. We will say it only once. From the rune of gold, which is a very complex sign and of a tremendous magical power, is derived after a mutilation and deformation, the swastika rune, of which so many nonsensical things have been written.
Yeah.
And I'm going to skip forward about 100 pages.
Right.
Sheesh.
Says, and on another identical map, we mark the places wherein the ancient sign of the swastika has been found. We will see that the areas of dispersion are identical. Although the swastika is held by peoples who, although inhabiting megalithic places, have not been the constructors of them, this fact does not invalidate the argument, for precisely these people of inferior culture have picked up or discovered the swastika from the megalithic construction, since, in certain sense, both are one and the same. We have already declared that the megalithic constructions are tactical weapons to be used in the framework of a Hyperborean strategy, and that the objective of such a strategy is the return to the origin. One more, real quick.
That's beautiful.
One more.
That's not lost on me, bro.
Yeah, good.
I understand the beauty of those words.
One more. Although the swastika is held by peoples who, although inhabiting, I'm sorry. This one is the next page. Sorry.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Take your time.
It says, to comprehend our previous affirmation, we need only recall that in every strategic action toward the origin, the Grail, a reflection of the origin, must intervene. But the Grail is supported by the rune of gold, and on it is engraved the sign of the origin, from which is derived, through deformations and mutilations, the swastika rune. Hence, a lithic construction designed to move a warrior community toward the origin makes it possible for another community, more impure or confused, to perceive the sign of the origin and, quote, worship or consider sacred the swastika rune. But the swastika, which is derived from the sign of the origin, does not itself represent a solar sign either, despite having been rationalized as such by decadent priests who also identified it with life or movement or reincarnation or the pole, etc. In antiquity, the swastika was a Hyperborean symbol of fire and blood, when both substances are one and the same thing. Today, fire is combustion, the optical illusion of a chemical process of matter's change of state, and blood, a plasmatic liquid. But the Hyperborean wisdom teaches that pure blood and fire possess a common nature and knowledge that is at the basis of the acoustic Kabbalah utilized by the Cro-Magnons for taming the currents of telluric energy. I'm going to leave it there.
There's that word, telluric. Yes, exactly. Yes, because when they talked about the elements back in those days, they didn't mean it like we mean today. Like you take a lighter and that's fire. Like, no, that's not what they meant. They're talking about the forces behind that.
Yeah, we got.
I know that. I know. But fire, good shit, man.
And we got the snake lady.
Literally fire, bro. Literally fire. Hell yeah.
The snake lady.
Good shit. Muhammad, I want to talk to you about something too. I sent you a message.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I've been working on some shit that I want to like do a presentation on.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah. For sure. Take a look at it.
Yeah.
For sure.
My point of that was mainly there was a little extra spread in there as little crumbs or inspiration. But the idea that the swastika represents this manifest thing or that manifest thing is mainly the ideals of the priest class. And the priest class are considered traitorous in the eyes of Hyperborean wisdom.
Yes, they're the false Virias, and they turned everything into solar symbolism because the solar symbolism represented the fucking undying priest, essentially, the undying God. That's when the pharaohs became the representatives of God on earth, and that's where everything got fucking flipped. But really, it was originally a stellar symbol. Yes.
What happened to TML?
Might have crashed.
Because the sun represented the undying. Right? That's why, like, Aton was considered, which is really what Tetragrammaton is. Aton was the undying sun, or like Sol Invictus and all that. Like, from an exoteric perspective, that's what that was. And it's like, oh, the sun never goes out, and it represented the fucking king or the pharaoh or whatever the hell, you know. And it was a perversion of that original gnosis, which originally was stellar. But yes,
Nimrod's saying that it's even beyond that. That stellar is also a
well,
strategic confusion. That the pole
yeah,
is
with-
a there. It's strategically confusing you to focus on something that exists in the material world.
well, that's the external. Right. Well, I know that, but we'll be here a while.
Of course, yeah.
Because it's the womb of it's the origin itself. It's the womb of manifestation. It's the
It's not
light
something you behold with your the
before.
eyeballs, the organ,
Right.
you call an eyeball. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like what Crowley talked about. Nuke and Hadith. Basically like the objective and the subjective. Reflecting upon each other. But even that's like it. Again, it's incognizable. So it's yeah. Ultimately, it's just symbols of symbols, abstractions of abstractions.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
like
really
this
something.
idea. I like this idea that it's a deformation or a mutilation of some grand, complex symbol.
Yes. Yeah. No. I would
Mm,
definitely agree with that. But I'm saying at least at the very least, it understanding that it did have to do with the circumpolar region of the sky, and Ursa Major and
I think at best,
the
it
polar
can,
tradition.
at
I think
best,
that is still a lot closer to what we're talking about, the nursery of stars. Like there are so many, like even the number 7 has to do with this.
at best,
People
I
don't.
think focusing on the stellar aspect of it can lead you. It's like a trajectory.
Yes.
It can lead you further into
Right.
the past, where you're going in the right direction. At least the past is better than looking forward as if there's some
Yes.
sort of progress to be made. The true progress would be like looking backwards at what was once something.
Yeah.
So
Because
in that
one of the
sense, yeah,
biggest
I'd agree.
problems, I think, is the solarization of humanity. Literally. Like if you
Yeah,
understand that from an esoteric perspective,
I do.
religiously, societally, everyone is so solarized. And when you're solarized, as Muhammad always says, the only way, all you have to do to blind someone is get them to open your eyes. Well, that's exactly it. So yeah,
Yeah.
you see the light, sure, but what light are you seeing?
Yeah, the
And
false
so
light.
that's exactly what it is instead of being, having that intuitive, primordial awareness in the darkness of the stellar, of the goddess, of the, of that womb,
What I've
in
figured
that
out,
stillness.
I think this will mean something to you because you're a practitioner. What I figured out through my time as a practitioner is that the demiurge or the one sets up a
Yeah.
fail-safe system. There's like a firewall, and that firewall is the astral light, the stellar light. It's this
Oh, for sure.
idea that like once you've gone past sensory organ, like your eyeball light, you think you hit the true light when you have these astral experiences, the hidden
Yes.
light, the light of the mind, what Masons call the intellectual light.
Yes.
That's where most initiates stop. They go, "This is it. I found it." And I think
Right.
that's what the
Ruh-roh.
demiurge or the one does to kind of catch you, just in case you leave the cave. That he's like, "Oh, you almost got out, but there's a light even further." It's the light that Pseudo Dionysius alludes to in his apophatic
Yes.
mystical theology, where he says, when Moses spoke to and saw lights, even that's wrong. You need to go further beyond that. Even when in your mind's eye you experience light, turn it off. Look for the light switch. Turn it off. Go quiet.
Yes.
Then the true light, the real light, once you negate all conceptions of light, will by grace, or and Nimrod would equate it to the paraclete, by this
Right.
extension from the loyal, or from the lords of Venus, or from the gods
That-
of Hyperborea. These people, these spirits will endow you with that sight or whatever. Will turn the
Well,
light
yeah,
on.
it's not the
Will open
light
the door.
that you see. It's the light that allows you to see.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
No,
I like
I
that.
get what you're saying. It's perception itself is the illusion.
Yeah,
If your
there you go.
perception is manipulated, then your reality is manipulated.
Yeah, divine name.
Because perception is reality. There is no static reality. Reality is dynamic. And so if I can control the way that you perceive, okay, reality, or better yet, if I can control the way you feel about what perception is,
Yeah. Before
then
we
I've
go too
already
far,
got
though,
you.
you understand what I mean by negating the stellar light, though, right? Like the
Yes.
astral.
The astral is just is a complete is like one of the biggest psyops in the occult. Everyone is so obsessed with the astral and they have no idea they're really just going deeper into the unconscious,
In the mystery traditions,
collective unconscious delusion.
in the mystery traditions, it's taught, and even I mean, the great Paracelsus would agree with this, that the astral light is the light of the stellar. It is the starlight.
Yeah.
So the starlight is, in a sense, right, according to
Still-
Nimrod in the Hyperborean wisdom tradition, it's an illusion as well. That's why we lump it into the material cosmos.
No, I agree with you 100%. And I have so many friends who are like all about the astral plane. And they're like, oh, I'm so tired of the material world. I'm getting out of here. And I'm on the astral plane all the day. I'm just like, you're just at a deeper level of the matrix.
Of the material world.
understand.
Exactly.
It's like you went to Zion and you still think, and now you think that you're free. Like people watch the Matrix literally, and they're like, oh, now they're in the real world. I'm like, no. Watch the Matrix again. I know you didn't like the second and the third ones, but watch them again. And the architect, the demiurge, literally tells you,
yes,
okay, your awakening is part of the Matrix. Zion is part of the Matrix.
What I'm alluding to right now about the layers of the material cosmos, this is Reddington. This is what I mean by even not plasma.
But this is powerful shit, man. Like people really need to understand, because I've been saying this. I have videos talking about this years ago, and you're like one of the only people I know who fucking understand this. That like all this astral travel shit is just another fucking level.
But
of the same delusion.
I don't fully. I'm not knocking the people that get there, but it's just another step in the process where
No, it can be useful. But if you mistake the map for the territory, that's where the problem arises.
Exactly. That's the big thing, is it's the most deceitful zone. It's like I said about the failsafe, it's when people think they've made it. Most initiates, like 90%, I would even say 99% of initiates, when they get there, they stay there and they try to traverse that and map it onto a Kabbalistic tree of life, and then they're done.
It is Kabbalistic. I do use the Kabbalah, but I use it in a very different way. So, like Kabbalistically, for the sake of convenience and just making sense of something that's really hard to make sense of, it would be related to Yesod. Okay.
I'm saying it's all of it. I'm saying even when you traverse the abyss, even when you go through Da'at and you try to reach the crown, of it is material cosmos.
Or Gamaliel. What I'm saying is, like, archetypically speaking, okay, like you're still seeing just another level of the same like it's just another garment. It's just another it's like it's like if someone's mask and they take the mask off, and you think you're seeing their face, and no, it's really just a mask.
Yesod would be like the gate or the door into it. But every other Sephira that you traverse beyond Yesod is astral. It's all astral light.
Well, even the Ein Sof would be considered you would have to go like Kabbalistically.
The Ein Sof are
of these things, put them in remembrance, charging them before the Lord that they strive not about words to no profit, but to subverting of the hearers. Anyway, continue.
I mean, even Jesus said, right now we see through a veil, but at some time we'll see face to face at Pineal. And in a way, you could say that's kind of alluding to that. And like I said, I can make the argument that I actually think that Jesus was an initiate, and it was turned into something else. But I'll leave that aside for now. Just because there's evidence that there were mystery teachings that were most definitely way before there was a church and all of that. But just, for people who understand, different prophets, you want to call them that, teachers, whatever, Buddha, Lao Tzu, et cetera, have made, little allusions to this idea that all perception essentially is ultimately flawed.
Yes.
And the only way to actually see is to be blind. Jesus talked about this too. And this gets into like the whole idea of non-attainment, Dzogchen, the luminous mind, where, the more you seek, the less you find. It's just returning to that origin, returning to that primordial awareness that is already there. It's realizing that all of this is really a distraction. You don't need to go into disembodied worlds or anything else. This is why I'm anti, and this gets into the astral too, is really like everything is here and now. And this is something big within my system is that everything is present right here and right now. There is no time. There is no space. There is no, it's not even like everything is forever. It's like, no, it's eternal. Like there is no beginning and there can never be an end, And so like you talk about like past lives and reincarnation, even that is kind of flawed in a way. Because how can you reincarnate if you never died to begin with? Or how can there be a past life if there is no past? You see what I'm saying? So it's just this, you can't have an afterlife. In some of the Gnostic Christian texts, it even talks about this. It has Jesus saying, some say that you have to, you have to die to be born again. He says, basically, I tell you now that if you're not alive now, then when you die, you'll inherit nothing.
Let's back up a bit though. Let's back up a little bit because see, this is a problem that most people who haven't studied the Hyperborean wisdom don't understand is that, it is happening that way, but on certain levels. So like the physical body absolutely perishes. It does exist within the temporal realm or the becoming realm, whatever you want to call that.
Right.
The state of becoming. So does the soul, but the spirit is the incorruptible. That's the eternal.
Right.
So like differentiating these things, I think is important. Because you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You can't say that like temporality doesn't exist, like the human body is actually going to be eternal, or that the soul is going to be eternal.
Well, no, no. Yeah. Well, yeah.
This is why when I say nature, this is what I'm talking about. It's everything that we see as the material cosmos. Right. That's what I call nature.
Right. Well, yeah, I would agree with that.
But I also see what TML means when he equates nature with being. I also understand that. And if you want to say that, then I would agree with that. Then I wouldn't throw out nature. Well,
see, me and TML have pretty sure we have an agreement on the fact that, God and nature, in the sense of, when I say God, I mean the origin, I mean the essence of all things, the ability for there to be a reality rather than there not be.
Yeah.
The impetus for existence at all. There is no separation between these two things, and that's exactly why we ran into the issue we have, where we have all this, Descartesian mind-body dualism and all of this nonsense, where the body is separate from the mind is separate from nature, the nature is separate from God is separate from the soul. No. These are all together. They just have different functions and they operate in different ways, but ultimately, like we are a trinity in a way, ourselves. God's not a trinity, we are. Okay, so so that's what I would, and so like from what I understand, at least from what me and TML have talked about, we basically, from what I can tell, completely agree. Maybe not on the specifics of what God is, but when he says that like Allah is closer than your jugular, like I would agree with that, because there is nothing that is not Allah. There's nothing that is not an emergent property of the origin. So I would say that yes, the demiurge has.
I think another problem with the word nature is that you can imply a dichotomy when you say that. You can think of something that is unnatural.
Right.
So
yes.
That's another reason I would lean towards defining nature as something that belongs to the temporal or the realm of becoming.
Right. See, I see nature as part of the temporal in its like material sense, like in its, or not material sense, but in its how do I put it?
I don't think you need a thesaurus to give me synonyms for being or whatever,
right?
Or even the origin.
Well, like I said, man, it's just that I believe that nature literally is alive. She is alive.
Well, yeah, and we can play semantics on life too, right? Like the passage I just read about the swastika being tied to life, quote unquote.
Yes.
Nimrod quotes all these things. He says life, immortality, reincarnation, right? Like life.
But that's really our only disconnect, man. Like other than that, like the more I've talked to you, the more I've realized even things I wasn't sure about.
But if you don't think death is real, how are you going to affirm life, right? There's not even a life. That's an illusion.
Right.
You are. You is.
Right. Well, death can't die. I mean, sorry, life can't die because it's living.
Yeah. Life implies the dichotomy, right? So that's why we throw that word out too. It's like, no, it's not life. It's not death. It's not natural. It's not unnatural. It's not.
Yeah, these are just distortions because language is
it fails in every single way.
Yeah. So when people say, "Can there be an afterlife?" It's like, well, no, there's just life.
But see,
it's kind of like, can there be free will? Well, no, there's just will.
Well, it's kind of tricky though, because there are language.
But yes, I mean the flesh does decay, of course. The flesh does decay.
There are words in language that do not have the dichotomy, right? So, like when Parmenides says "be," that's why I agree with Parmenides and his assessment of being, because there is no
at some level.
There's no dichotomy. I can't say non-being.
Right. Well, this is why I never lock myself into any one tradition, because the fact of the matter is reality is a lot more fucking complex than that. That's why I don't have any one, philosopher or tradition that I rely on. I have a collage.
Yeah, I think that can be helpful, and it can also be detrimental.
I agree.
Yeah. I think if you have...
But if you're talking about first principles, like I essentially believe in a mystical naturalism, a pluralism, a panpsychic...
Yeah, pluralism. That's a good one. A miniism.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a non-dual source, but that non-dual source is not, God playing with itself, as we talk about.
Yeah.
There is still an independent, emergent, that is able to act on its own, make mistakes.
The true sense of the word plural, in the true sense of pluralism, right? Meaning many substances. That one's harder to grasp for me. That's why I reduce it to a dualism, because to me, it seems like I can spot out two distinct substances. When it comes to the mind-body relationship, in order for me to believe in the afterlife, in order for me to believe in an eternal spirit, it has to be disassociated from the body. I can't, the body doesn't come with me. I'm not taking my money into the afterlife in my house.
Well, I mean, don't you have another body though? I mean, that's the question.
You know what I mean by my mind-body relationship. We're talking about the physical, corporeal flesh.
Right.
Blood,
well, yeah, that's
bones.
gone. That's gone. Yeah. Blood and bones are gone. Right.
So,
well, even Jesus or Paul, I mean, depending on what part of the tradition you're talking about talks about the the new bodies. It talks about the angels like are jealous essentially of our new bodies. That's like one of the reasons that they fell and shit. Like the more
Yeah,
like
not to
esoteric
get carried
Christian
away.
idea.
Not to get carried away into that subject, right? Like staying on track. What I mean is this idea of plural, meaning like multiple
Yeah,
substances. I can't
I
spot more than two. I can't
I
identify more than
mean,
two.
well,
Because I would say that all individuals are made of the same substance, and we'd say will.
yes. Yeah, will is the essence of all things. Will is what most people would consider consciousness.
Yes, yeah. It'd be like
But consciousness is an emergent property of will.
Yeah. We'd say like
With
the true unadulterated awareness or something like that.
yes.
If I had to define it with words, it would be something like that. Pure, unadulterated, unrestricted awareness or something like that.
So I think I actually wrote something about
I
pluralism.
call that all as vanity, but yeah.
Yeah, it sounds vain. It does, but there's an element of honor for the other individuals that share this kind of notion.
So there's irreducible forces, okay? And none of them collapse into one or two. Okay?
Of course.
So there's
in Platonism they call them hypostases.
So there's centers of experience and power that intersect, overlap, and can sometimes even contradict. They don't resolve into a single system.
Yeah.
Okay. So with dualism, you're basically choosing a side. You're integrating opposites or polarity. Okay. So in pluralism, you're not choosing any axis. You're shifting.
The dualism means substance. We're talking about substance, not polarity.
Well, there's different kinds of dualism too, though. You have ontological dualism. You have ethical. This is a deep conversation. This is
ontological dualism. When you talk about pluralism and monism and dualism, we're talking about substance.
Okay. So see, like,
I don't mean polarity.
So these are clusters of forces, not absolutes, is the way that I would explain it. Like
explain dualism.
So there's multiple. So there's multiple more monads, essentially.
Yes.
It's a field of intersecting currents.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not monism where there's one mind that's playing with itself. Okay. It's one source, which is basically the field from which all other minds, you could say, arise, and that will is an emergent property of the origin. Okay, so this is something that we would have to sit and really talk about.
Yeah, I don't.
But I think we're more or less on the same page. It's probably just a matter of
there's probably there's probably some obscure philosopher out there who has a name for it, but I haven't come across it.
Probably.
I would say like polyism or something like that. Like there's the idea that there can be multiple individual units within this one substance.
Well, yeah, no, I would say that it's definitely like a many in one type deal for sure, like a polytheistic.
It is. They're both.
You even call it a polytheistic monism. You could call it like a polytheistic monism. Because I do believe there are, you want to call them spirits or whatever. Like, I believe the gods exist. They just exist in a way that we can't really understand what that is. I don't believe they're just archetypes. I believe that's how they operate in our perception. So like people have this idea that, spirits, I don't usually talk about this, but fuck it. They have this idea that like, say you do a ritual and you call, fucking Krishna or Lucifer or whatever, right? And it's like, well, it's all in your mind, right? And it's like, okay, well, yeah, that's true. All right, but your mind is the infinite mind. Okay, so that's the mind of all. Okay, so like this is where it gets into a plasma cosmology. All right, so yes, many of them are egregores for sure, but I think also that what people have called spirits throughout time are actually these plasmic currents of energy. They're self-aware plasmic luminous plasma currents. Okay, and so they do exist. It's not that they're they exist as some anthropomorphic being outside, or they only exist in the mind. It's both, but they're definitely not anthropomorphic beings, or
They're not restricted to
Loose-
anthropomorphism.
they're not
but they
restricted
can
to
be.
anything,
Yeah,
really.
they can be anthropomorphic. You can
There's-
envision them as anthropomorphic.
There's actually an idea that I took that I basically created my own nomenclature called hierarchasia, and it essentially means that the spirits use myth and fiction and whatever else in order to explain to us what they are. Okay, so they'll use what we would consider the human imagination, okay, and fiction and story and metaphor and whatever else, as a way to communicate something that is actually real, but is only able to be communicated to us through those means, if that makes sense. So this is where you get into like personal gnosis and all this type of thing. So like I believe in extraterrestrials, okay, but extraterrestrials in the sense of like what I'm talking about, okay, are like what the Germans were doing, okay, and what the Hyperboreans were doing thousands of years ago, okay. That's like the real what people would think, in the sense of like spacecraft and all that. But beyond that, okay, you have something that's entirely different. You have something that travels through mind. You have something that is completely based in will, okay? And it works through telepathy. And it doesn't need any material vehicle to transport, okay? So I believe that some of the old gods are real, quote unquote, okay? And they've, communicated with man all different ways throughout time, okay? And that they exist as I said, as these plasmic currents, okay? And so people can go into inner space. There's a really good book actually that I'm thinking about doing, like maybe a series, like, because if you study like the DMT experience,
What's the book called?
and like I'm actually looking it up right now.
Oh, okay.
Because I have it. It's like inner space, inner worlds to outer space, or something like that. I was just I have so much stuff going on, man. But basically, bro, like before I got into any esotericism, okay, let me make this really clear. Inner path, yeah, here it is. Before I got into any occultism, any esotericism, my roots, besides being raised Christian, is in shamanism. Just right off the bat. I had a shamanic experience when I was 15 years old with the earth, before I came across Lash, before any of that, okay? And I basically talked to Sophia before I knew that's what her name was, okay? And she revealed a lot of shit to me, and it would take way too long to get into, all right? And I realized that she was alive, and I realized that she could basically read my fucking mind, and I had a non-dual experience, okay? And what I came to the conclusion of is that if people can see grays and reptilians in fucking altered states of consciousness, then it's quite obvious that they're not using UFOs to travel from distant galaxies. Okay, this is something much different. Yeah, it's called Inner Path to Outer Space: Journeys to Alien Worlds through Psychedelics and Other Spiritual Technologies. So, in my philosophy, in my tradition, from the shamanic angle,
is that by Prabhupada? Who is that by?
It's Rick Strassman.
Oh, okay, never mind.
What we call space is not something out there.
Of course,
okay, this is a lie.
Yeah,
this is a lie.
I think I have the Inner Journey Prabhupada book that you're talking about. Hostile.
That's another. That is related though as well, actually. So
It
you're
is.
on the right track.
Yeah.
So
well,
what I'm
that-
saying is what we call, I'm not saying it's fake and gay. I'm not saying flat earth, but they are onto something. And that is that space is not something that you travel to
Never. It
in
never
a
has been.
spaceship.
There's been
Right.
ancients that went to all the planets. They've all been
Yes.
there. They all know the
Yes.
inhabitants. It's
Yes.
a place you go to with the other body, the light body, the astral
Yes.
body, the double.
Yes.
It's always been that. But like
And-
we've come up with this exoteric system to trap normies, to restrict
Yes.
them from ever transcending into those regions. And I think they do that at the end of history. When the end of history is close, they kind of shut the gates or shut the doors, and it's go time. But to summarize before I get off here, I think our ultimate difference isn't that far apart.
No,
I
it's
think
not.
it boils down to one thing, not many things. I think it really boils down to one thing,
No,
and it's
I
this
agree.
idea that that matter and spirit are not separate. I think that I think they're
Oh.
separate, and you think
Yeah.
that they're not separate. That the
Yes.
mind is actually making and fashioning the body for itself. That like it's a vehicle that serves a purpose for the self or whatever.
Right.
That makes
Right.
sense. I came from that, so like that's not far fetched. Like I understand that, but I
Yeah.
did hit this point through deep Neoplatonic thought and Christian mysticism that that I was faced with the question: if that's the case, if I don't, if they're not separate, then there must be some sort of monism going on. That there's one substance, and then I had to reconcile that substance with its creator or uncreation. So,
Right,
in short,
uncreation, right.
in short, are you an individual or are you the thought or the LARP of some big mind we call God or whatever?
Right.
But anyways, I'm gonna check out of here. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, man. We'll stay in touch. Like I said, I've been busy as fuck, but I got you on Discord, and we'll definitely chop it up. Because, like I
course.
said, the more I talk to you, the more I realize. Like I thought we had more differences than we did, and
We
the
don't.
fact of the matter is we really fucking don't.
We really don't.
And
It's just that
we
It's
met for a
just the
reason.
dualism thing.
Yeah, we met for a reason. So definitely.
Yeah, I
sure.
appreciate you, homie. Yeah, thanks for joining.
Yes, sir. Reddington. He's asleep.
Yeah,
Be on the
yeah,
lookout.
perhaps. Yeah,
Be
but
on
I'm
the
sure.
lookout for them snores.
Yeah, but I'm sure he'll be back tomorrow. On the stream. So yeah, I hope you guys all come back.
Yeah.
Obviously, and
Dom.
yeah.
Good night, brother.
All right, good night.
Yep. And I think that's
Hail.
Lord, keep it up. Keep up the hard work.
Hail Lucifer Christos, brother.
Yes. Yes.
Christo-paganism and the snake lady.
Night, guys. Night, guys.
Yeah, peace, homie. Yeah, all right,
Hell
homie.
If Twilight
wanna s-
wants to host a panel, I'll join.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm cool. I'm cool with that. I'm feeling pretty fired up. Like I said, I've been really fucking busy, so it feels good to, have a chat. I feel fortunate that everybody I wanted to talk to just happened to fucking be on at the same time. So that's really cool. Because I honestly, I don't want to say too much, but I have to go to the hospital and shit. Like, yeah, I have some shit going on with my health. So just keep me in your whatever the fuck. I'm not against like well wishes or prayers or whatever, even if it's to whomever. Because
Absolutely, man.
yeah, like I mean, definitely, I have no issue with Allah. I've even actually talked to Allah, believe it or not. I don't know if that's like blasphemy or whatever, but I have, like, from a Sufi perspective. And I can tell you this: the energy that I've gotten is way different than the supposed chosen ones. So when they say that Allah is the same as the demiurge. I fucking disagree. I think it's a totally
Yeah,
different religion.
well, I think to quote Killer Priest, when you pray, you talk to God, and when you meditate, God talks to you. So
Facts,
there's
bro.
stuff going
Facts.
on
Yo,
there.
Killer Priest is fucking OG, bro. Killer Priest is the shit. He used to talk to Jordan Maxwell. I talked to him once for like 5 minutes. He's cool as shit, bro. Yeah. Yeah. No, but I'm cool with Allah, man. Like I honestly like I just don't want to like restrict myself and not be able to do my practices and work with the goddess and all that. If not for that, dude, like I would legit be a Muslim because I honestly like I think it's a hell of a lot more sane than fucking any of the other Abrahamic traditions. Real shit. If I was around, I mean, I don't know if that would be right, but if I was around, bro, like I would go with you to mosque, man, just to have the experience.
Yeah, dude. Inshallah, bro. We'll
I
figure it out.
just to see what it felt like. You know what I mean? Like I'm open enough to like to be, like, yo, what is this? What is this really? You know what I mean? Like because that's one thing that we have different. Me and Hyperborean is I believe that God can appear through anything. You know what I'm saying? And I do believe that God has prophets, and I do believe that there is value in the Abrahamic traditions, but it just got twisted around. So I do believe there were prophets. And I think that Buddha and Zoroaster and Jesus and what I'm saying, Muhammad, like I think that they originally did have like insight from what we call God. Just like I think that shamans had insight. It's kind of weird. There's this tradition called Baha'i, and it's basically like Islam for Freemasons and Jews. I don't know if you've ever heard of this shit. It's fucking
Yeah, I have heard about it. It's like headquartered in Israel.
It's fucking strange, bro.
Yeah, dude.
It's literally Islam, bro. It's funny as shit, bro.
Yeah, it's like Islamic Judaism that's mixed with Zoroastrianism and like fucking philosophy and shit. It's all fucked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's headquartered in Israel. So I don't know.
Right.
It's basically controlled by the Jews. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They say they respect everybody, but then like they don't really give any credit to Muhammad. And then like when they talk about Jesus, they kind of like twist it in their own way. And it's like, 'cause I thought it was interesting at first. I'm like, yo, this is actually kind of cool. But then I realized like how they're actually twisting it. Because I thought it was actually pretty beautiful at first. I was like, oh shit, this is kind of like what Theosophy was saying in the beginning. And believe it or not, and it's like, nah, this is just more fucking. Well, I won't say the word, but yeah, it's just priestcraft. It's priestcraft, but the idea is great. Like,
yeah, they got a huge temple in Chicago.
They talk about Jainism. They talk about Jainism and fucking like Jainism is interesting. Sikh, the Sikhs, like, and they basically say that like there's all these prophets of God, and honestly, I think that's true, man. Like, I think that God can't be limited. God can't be put in a box. And I know we're not at final like words, but I feel like this could be like part of that. It's that humanity's propensity to put God in a box does not preclude the fact that God is in that box. God can put you in a box. Like God is beyond human conception or understanding, and God can reach you if he wants to reach you. And my biggest issue, like when I was growing up as a Christian, was everyone's like, you can murder somebody, and at the last minute you just say you believe in Jesus. It's like, bro, no. Like, repent means to fucking change your heart. Literally. It's like it says God does not judge. Like, okay, it doesn't mean you have to like be, perfect. Like some of these people say, oh, you smoke cigarettes, you're a bad. Like, no. That's not what that is. It's kind of like you're going through like withdrawal. Okay. And God knows you're like trying to like get off drugs. You know what I'm saying? And so like, if you're doing your best to get off those drugs, like God sees that. You know what I'm saying? And so like, if you put your best effort, like this is just my perception, and I'm just a fucking evil heathen, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I have a connection to God. All right. And people can make of that what the fuck they will. All right. Like I have no doubt in my mind that I have a relationship with God. All right. Because I have way too many experiences in my life where I could have died, where you know, things could have gone really wrong. And my trust in God pulled me out of that shit, man. And I've been, you know, brought from hell and back, like straight up. Like I could like seriously like do testimony after testimony. It's kind of crazy. You know, and it just this divisive bullshit. You know, it says the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. You know what I'm saying? And to divide, and yet people like don't understand all this, and it's just always blown my mind, man. Because you know, I'm definitely not a Christian, but spiritually, I would definitely align myself with that, you know, that spirit of Christ. You know what I'm saying? And in the sense of like what Islam really means, you know, submission to God's will. Like I would agree with that. You know, it's not about what you want today or tomorrow. It's about doing what the fuck you were put here to do, to walk your dharma, to walk, you know, what you're, and even Crowley, like really when you understand it's about it's about doing what it is that you're meant to do and doing that only. And anything that gets in the way of that is basically a blasphemy. You know, Crowley says, you know, it's and to consult anything else is blasphemy to one's own angel. Talking about the holy guardian angel. That's I'm gonna do something on Crowley too to really let people know what the fuck he was actually about. You know, but I kind of see that as the same thing as like the Holy Spirit. You know, when you try to elevate man or man's ideas above what you know is right, when you try to create excuses for your own behavior, you know, especially you know, when you claim to follow God in spirit and in truth. Jesus said, follow me in spirit and in truth, you know, not in performance, you know. And that's essentially what they were doing, is they wanted to be seen, they wanted to be heard, they wanted to, you know. And you know, I'm just me, man. You know, if I end up in hell or whatever the fuck, which is created in the 6th century, you know, whatever the fuck, so be it, man. But I really don't think so. I think God is far beyond what anyone could ever conceive of. And I think that if you're true to yourself and you're true to others and you do the best you can, man, that God has your back. It's not about fucking belief. It's about being true to yourself and being true to your integrity and to what's right. And I think that if you're true to that, then God will be true to you. And I mean, I think that's really it at the end of the fucking day, man. Inshallah, my brother.
Yeah, blessings, homie. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, and definitely, you know, we'll reach out and stuff, and you know, hopefully, you know, long life for you ahead, my friend, and so on
I
and so
appreciate
forth.
it, brother.
Yeah, man. You
Yeah,
know, and
man. I got some
good to link
scans
up.
and they didn't look so good. With my neurologist and shit. I don't want to say too much, but I'm not like scared,
Yeah,
but
don't tell him here, man. Fuck that, dude.
yeah,
Just
no, yeah, I know people, you know, whatever. But
yeah,
like I
dude.
said,
Fuck.
God's got my back. Lewis got my back. You know, whatever the fuck. Like I'm strong. I've almost died multiple times, bro. And even if I were to go, you know, I ain't planning on staying here any long here anyway. I ain't gonna lie. No, seriously. Nah, but I'll be all right. I just had a lot going on, man. But it just feels good to be able to reconnect. And you know, like I said, most people I really just don't give a fuck, and you know that's just what it is. But there's a few people like I wish sometimes, like I really wish sometimes we could just kick it, Muhammad, like for real. So many times I've thought like, yo, man, I just want to have like fucking a blunt, some fucking mushrooms, to go on like a hike or some shit with Muhammad. It'd be so dope.
Yeah, it might happen soon, man. You never know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been saving money and shit. Maybe it will happen.
Yeah, like, yeah, dude. Like,
I just think that would be badass, dude. Like, I'm so
yeah, it could
tired.
be at any point. Like 6 months. We could be doing that. So who knows, man?
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
put it.
No, I mean, it's true. I just know you're going through your own shit too, and with my health and everything. If not for that, it probably would have already happened. It's just there's very few people that I talk to, man, in real life. I mean, this is real life, I guess, but you know what I'm saying, like in physicality or online, bro, and that I can actually relate to. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so much easier to talk to people in person about these types of things. And it's just like I just thought about like fucking just really kick it. Do some fucking mushrooms. Be a blast, man. For sure.
Yeah, I
Hyperborean.
think also Hanko Flankio is trying
Eurojack.
to take some of that. So
Yeah,
I believe
yeah.
he lives close to where you're at. So maybe I could go
Yeah, he
there
does. He
with the
does.
mushrooms and take mushrooms with you and Hank. That would be hilarious. All right.
Yeah, yeah. And not just a clown, like I mean to do it seriously. I mean, yeah, I used to do that shit when I was younger, I'm not gonna lie. I would take fucking like pure MDMA and fucking LSD and all that, but that was long, long, long ago. I'm not about that. I want to do this shit deliberately and go into nature and fucking like really have an experience. Let people show people how to talk to Sophia. I don't gotta explain it. I'll show you straight up. You could talk to her yourself, and then you could tell me it ain't real. Not to prove a point, but just to be like, yo, you want to talk to Sophia? Here. You'd be like, oh shit, she's real. But yeah, man.
More
Very,
real
very
than real.
Neurojack. Obviously, I forgot you were here, Red. Zerfall, homie, definitely would be awesome to fucking hang out. Get my friend Charlie, my Jewish friend. We could all chill. He's one of the coolest fucking people. One of my best friends. And you'll be like, yo, he really does have a friend who's a Jew. That's my homie, man. But
Yeah,
yeah,
blessings, brothers.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna set up a stream, drop the link here in the chat.
Yeah, yeah.
And everybody will
Yeah,
join
yeah.
here.
If anybody wants to chill, we could do a stream. We could go on chat. We can do whatever, man. Like it don't really matter.
Yeah, I may try to like send the audience there, but I'm not sure if that's an option. I don't know if that's allowed
I
on
don't
every
know,
channel. I don't know,
but I could go. I'm gonna set my my server too, not to everybody, but to you and to Zerafall and
yeah,
Hyperborean.
yeah, let's do it.
It's been fucking like I've been in like migration for a really really long time, hybrid hermit mode. But I've had this server for a long fucking time. I started it originally for practitioners, and I used to do like daily meditations and rituals and all that shit.
Right.
And I kind of like got so busy. I had like hundreds of people, but I just had so much going on. But yeah, that's you. So
Yeah. Yeah, dude, definitely. Well, check
But
out
yeah,
Twilight's
and
channel.
I got the Aramaic translation of the New
Nice.
Testament, bro. That shit is fire, bro.
That's interesting, man. Yeah.
Shit is fire, bro. And this is why I don't throw out the baby Jesus with the bathwater, man.
Right.
Because to me, it's obvious that this shit was manipulated. That's
Yeah,
why I hate
yeah.
Christianity, but I don't hate Christ. Because, yeah, man, I got to show you. I'll do a presentation on that. Like the Aramaic, bro. It's so like poetic and just like it's obvious they watered the shit down like so much. Like it's just like with the Arabic, like to English shit. Like they it dilutes the meaning so much. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, and thank you to Rant and End Time Teacher for joining as well. You know, I appreciate your time.
Yeah. Who was I talking to earlier? I was talking to Dom, and I was talking to someone else. I don't think I've ever talked to. He seemed really knowledgeable.
Was that the guy End Time Teacher? Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know his name. I wasn't
after him.
I was walking around doing shit, so I'm not sure because I wasn't looking at the screen. But he seemed knowledgeable. What?
I don't know. I don't really remember anyone else. So
wasn't there someone else? I thought there was someone else. I never talked. No,
yeah,
obviously Hyperborean.
Yeah, obviously you know
Hyperborean. No, yeah, me and Hyperborean.
Somebody else. I'm not sure.
Wasn't there someone else?
No, I think he knows Rant as well. No, he came after Rant as well.
No, it wasn't Rant.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Rant. It was Dom and someone else.
I think you might be getting confused.
Maybe I'm fucking crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, you're getting confused because there's nobody else here, I think. But yeah, man. But yeah, anyways, we're all getting a little delirious. Right?
It was my holy guardian angel.
Exactly.
Fact, bro.
Exactly. It's the Crowleyan angel. You know.
Yeah. That's it, man.
The daemon. You know, as it were. You know. But yeah. So anyways, we'll shut this down for today. We'll be back tomorrow. Go to Twilight Sun Animism. If you guys want another stream, we'll try to drop the link here in the chat. And of course, I appreciate the people that are watching. There are a great number of people watching here. All we're gonna do is play music and then end the show. Tomorrow will be a new stream, 9:15 p.m. Eastern time, Wednesday and Saturday night. We are doing streams Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. The streams usually start at 9:15. Therein, there is a longish introduction video, which basically combines music and text that will basically tell you everything that you need to know about the subject material of the show. And then we'll launch into explanations of the show material. That usually comprises of an hour. Then we launch into discussions and commentary on sources that I select for the show material, which usually takes about 2 hours. Then we launch into open discussions, usually. And that comprises the rest of the stream. And sometimes we don't get into the material, so you know it's all a question of how the show's run. I see a great number of people leaving now. So,
yeah, I can't share any links right now, Muhammad, because it'll kick me out. Just for the record. Yeah, it'll kick me out if I try to share a link.
Yeah. So, but you have it set up, right? So here, hold on.
Yeah. I'm gonna start either start a live or just do a VC. Either way.
Oh, okay.
So
you don't have it set up. Yeah, he's just gonna fire it up. So just look for it over there. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool, man. Yeah, if you wanna go
just
do that.
Someone drop a link, I guess. I don't know. Because I can't.
Yeah, we'll drop it. Yeah, I'll be playing music here for a while. If I see it, I'll drop it.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm saying just my channel.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, I'll look for it.
Yeah,
Dom.
Well,
I wanted to talk to you specifically.
Well, you guys know where his channel is, at least, right? Here, let me see. Let me drop this out. Twilight.
Well,
channel.
Sometimes it's the same, but people were telling me they weren't getting. I don't know. YouTube beyond shadow ban my ass. So
yeah, of course, dude.
Yeah,
dude. Play more like Hitler speeches and stuff, dude. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure, bro.
Shit, bro. Yeah.
For sure, bro.
Obviously.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. I respect everybody's, opinion on that, but I'm telling you, bro, it's a lot more complicated than people realize.
Oh yeah, but it's automatic shadow ban if you just mention I remember last time when we played the video, dude, on the on my video it said historical figures mentioned, and then it had a picture of Adolf Hitler under my video. I'm like, oh, that looks awesome there. Like, what the hell is this? Pretty weird stuff. But yeah, it just said historical people mentioned, and we mentioned a slew of historical people, but it only had one picture of one man.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me make it very clear. I do not condone Nazism in its modern, especially modern or historical connotations, because it was hijacked. But I have a breadth of information to show that Mustache Man is not who we were told. And people can, feel how they do. But if anyone is actually open-minded enough to see, I may do a private stream, meaning like offline, going over that, and including information that was taken directly from Germany, like the actual records, like someone physically went there and took, so yeah, like I'm not just up and off the mouth. And the stuff that I was showing, it didn't have the actual source in the video, but it mentioned sources that I do have, like the actual documents, the actual white papers. Some of the shit was translated from German into English. But I am not anti-Semitic. I do not have hate in my heart for any people of any race, of any color, of any persuasion, of any. I've never had any blanket statements towards any religion or any people. I detest, institutions. I don't even hate Masons, because a lot of Masons are good people. I don't hate Jews. I don't, like I said, best friends is Jewish. It's not, and this isn't a fucking like disclaimer. It's true. But yeah, I don't want to get anyone in trouble. I am not anti-Semitic. I don't.
Too late for that.
I don't endorse any hate or
yeah, it's cool, dude.
violence towards anybody.
Yeah, dude.
So, yeah.
But yeah, you got this set up on your side or what, man? So what?
I'm going to.
Oh, whoops. Yeah, so go to Twilight's channel.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I
can't at the same time. I have to.
Yeah,
I have
some
to
of us. Yeah, okay.
So we're done.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so some of us will be over there, but yeah, blessings. That's all we have for today. Does anybody else want to go around and say something? Reddington, Lorp, Dom.
Sure. Vanity of vanities, and better a living dog than a dead lion.
Facts.
Dom, I think he had some sort of audio thing there. Blessings to Dom.
There's always hope, but don't seek the treasure.
Do not seek the treasure.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, folks.
Peace.
Yeah, thank you for joining us here on The Machine Lies, where we talk about the lies of the machine on the machine that lies. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up here. Obviously, go to the beginning of the show, and I laid out lots of topics and materials that we can go over and discuss. There, I framed lots of questions. I don't think there's an adequate answer to a lot of those questions I posed, right, within the troves of the material that's being prescribed for people, like, for example, in political science and the theological discussions they're having, right, within the ideas and, philosophy. And it seems to be that they're overlooking certain problems. So I framed those in the beginning of the show for anybody that's interested. And of course, that is the main impetus for the entire show. So if you're here and you don't really resonate with the opening lines, on Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday of last week or today, right, then you may want to ask yourself, not that I'm trying to cultivate some sort of special audience here, right? But obviously, I'm not worried about gaining a lot of viewers, right? But I am interested in having correspondence on those issues that I've mentioned. So I greatly appreciate if people can get into that. But anyways, here is some songs, and we'll be back. Blessings. Yeah, thank you for joining us. Talk to you guys soon. Tomorrow at 9:15. I have to keep announcing that because we changed the time, back. So yes, 9:15 p.m. Eastern. Okay, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Saturday night. I hope you guys will join. Blessings.
Thanks a lot, my brother.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Big homie. And of course, Reddington. Excellent stuff. The machine drives. The greatest show on earth.
Cyber Caliphate! Aeonic Jihad!
What's up, boppers, thugs, gangsters, all you people with an ear to the street. This next hour is for you. Let's start it like this.
Just wanna throw my beats out on the street of 6 feet, baby. Watch yourself, kid. The jakes be deepin' on the creek now. What the deal? What the deal? Just wanna throw my guns and self-state and do a long biz. For real, kid. We stay reppin' for Queens, infrared bayo. I only rock with famine. Plot planning niggas to cop the cannons. One with the eyes jamming niggas. Do a whole bit in the box standing. 8 niggas that's quick to hop in the van and cock locks and put the drop on top of the whole block gambling. Turn it to Nas Lennon. Gunshots, scattle scrambling. Leaving 4 cops to examine. The streets are frigid, so I speak in vivid. Sleep with it, love it, and live it. If you want one of these slugs, I'ma give it. And pop it till you drop liquid. Your days are numbered out, get dropping in digits. Bodies get sent to the chop shop like civics. All for popping up on the wrong blocks to visit. The wrong spot to risk it. Nothing but hollow tops and a biscuit. Get helicopter lifted out your hot lizards. Keep it far from the child shit. 40 cow spit, running with wild flicks. Dead you would beat the murder trial shit. 12 valve whips, the strip is scorching. Flooded with drug enforcement, lawmen stripping your fortune. Shorties are like the Statue of Liberty, they stay living a torch in office. Split the fifth often, mad chicks get abortions. Weak ones, lay stiff in the coffin. Federal steakhouse, spots get raided. Shots get traded, coming to lock everything rock related. Keeping the cell blocks overly populated. Incarcerated, scar faces intoxicated. Dead eyes get operated, some get chopped and faded. Leaving the bleed in need for medical aid. From sharp metal relay, when shit get hot, it's hard to settle the blaze. The ghetto we praise, hey, yo, the life you hold is darker as the dice you roll. Be careful, kid, the streets is ice cold. The thirsty ones out, working the night patrol for the price of gold. In the story of a life you told, nigga, simple and plain. The life you hold is darker as the dice you roll. Be careful, kid, the streets is ice cold. The thirsty ones out, working the night patrol for the price of gold. In the story of a life you told, nigga. Yo, how many make it out? It's 1 in a million. Scared to death cause one of your children just might be the next one that gets stressed in front of the building. Coming out, pulling guns out, running with villains, living in pain, kid in the street game. Trapped in these blocks where the heat flame. With niggas reach for they thing. Speak slang, chop your grill until the meat hang. Busting the gas, running the deep games. Look out for the Jeep dames to set you up. Invite you to the crib to wet you up. Lift your necklace up, bringing the clip to lift and mess you up. Smith and West you up, never press your luck. Be prepared to bust, how many you dare to trust? Keep your friends close and enemies closer. I bought double shots, serving me the toast and friendly ghosts until the game me yours. Send some guineas to roast it. If they can't approach it, send me toasters. Give them the Kennedy doses, empty in your boulder. Life is about bending them slimmies over. Plenty bennies and rovers, half naked, women for lemmy sofas. Crib with the Fendi sofas, black coats and oasters. Crack Jehovah, stacking like Sosa. Tailor-made suits with Gucci penny loafers. Mac 10s and holsters for rats and vultures. Having DTs packaging coaches. The raps of Volga blow their backs and cobras. Run with the gat exploders, gunslingers. Corners of slum hangers, the brick of tongue bringers and slingers. Keep one in the chamber, hey, baby. The life you hold is locked as the dice you roll. Be careful, kid, the streets is ice cold. The thirsty ones out, working the night patrol for the price of gold. In the story of a life you told, nigga, simple and plain. The life you hold is locked as the dice you roll. Be careful, kid, the streets is ice cold. The thirsty ones out, working the night patrol for the price of gold. In the story of a life you told, nigga.